Prophet Marshall Occurrence back at it. So this video is going to be about basically the offering, giving the offering as spiritual warfare. We're going to stay on that because really that's where our focus is at. Our focus is at the offering. The offering. That's what we're talking about. You know, it ain't really too much else going on. It ain't really too much else to talk about. You know, like for people that are not aware, I'm going to be probably most likely leaving New York because I already got my job done. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of other reasons that I feel like I shouldn't be subject to certain things. And it's just like life, you know, it's life, you know. And, you know, how can I say this, man? If it was somebody else that was doing nothing, that person would be helped by New York. That person would be embraced, and it wouldn't be any games. And that's just how it is. It's the person that could be most effective in a situation, that person is the one that's struggling. That's the person that's struggling, the one that actually can do something. You know what I'm saying? But see, I understand that as life. That's how you know you're getting older. I understand that as life. You've seen the patterns too many times. The person that can help everybody, the one that can defeat these people, that's the one that got us. Why everybody's sitting back looking at him? They sitting back looking at that cat, but he the one that can do everything. But they expect him to do it. They expect him to do it, but they not helping him. And so instead of being butthurt about it, I just realized that it's life, you know, and either way it goes, I got my job done anyway. That's why I keep trying to stress to people, see, I'm not going to be played. I'm never going to be played in no situation. I'm not ever going to be played. I'm not played now. I already finished my job. I told y'all that 3 weeks ago on my videos. If you pay attention to what I'm doing, you can go watch my videos. 3 weeks ago, I already told you that we already ahead of schedule. This is already over. This is already over. All this is for me now is overtime. This is overtime. Me putting in overtime. That's it. That's all it is. As far as me needing to go much further in America, in New York, it's overtime. We already got it done. My objective is already done. The collapse has already started. Everybody can see it. It's not going backwards. It's not going to get better. And so I've already made it clear on my videos over and over again. This is overtime at this point. I could go back down south. I said that a month ago. And that wasn't because I was scared of any elements here. That wasn't because I was discouraged or broken by any elements here. That's me looking at my progress and my productivity. My productivity is so on point. From fasting and giving offerings, it's glory to God. It's already done. It's already done. So I already proclaimed like about a month ago, this is overtime. I'm putting in overtime. Literally. I could have left 2 days ago. Something like that. I had the money to leave 2 days ago, but I'm putting in overtime. That's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing, bro. That's how you know you're military, because I already know my progress. You don't got to point out my progress to me. I'm going to point it out to you. We already got this done. This is done. Put a fork in it, buddy. This is done. This is done. Okay, so that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line, you know. Like I said, I don't have anything to prove to homosexuals and transsexuals, because that's what's energy that's around me. For some reason, them people try to get a hold of me, and it don't make sense because I was never associated with them. Socially speaking, I was never associated with them. So imagine I don't get it. It's like it's just another testament of the corniness of people, that they will come into your lane and it don't even make sense. It don't make sense to nobody. You know, and that's the corniness and awkwardness that I'm telling you that comes from that community. So it don't add up to me. It don't add up. But what does add up is America could use nobody else to play that position, because heterosexual men wouldn't be against me like this. It had to be dirty gay men that would oppose me. Nobody else wouldn't do it. I know that too. I'm smart enough to know that ain't no black straight dudes that's heterosexual gonna put themselves against me. It had to be dirty, grimy gay people. And whether you accept it or not, I don't care how you take this, it's a certain griminess in those type of people that we don't got as heterosexual men. It's not that they would kill, they can kill, and they kill us. It's a certain dirtiness about them that me and you would never do. We would never put ourselves in no position to be that dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just go ahead and catch a body and do what I gotta do, instead of just following this dirty format of playing with somebody and all this and that. And that ain't in the nature of black people. That's not in our nature. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they the only people that could do it, and it didn't work, and I just moved on. So, you know, I can't be around that. I can't be around this kind of energy no more. I can, but I don't want to. I don't want to be around this kind of energy no more. You know what I'm saying? Like the last apartment I got, it was given by a program, and it was nothing but a lot of gay people in the program. So it just comes to a point where it's like, okay, do I want to do this again? And I had to really soul search, and I realized I already got my objective done. My objective is done. So why do I really need another place? It would just be overtime. I could put in overtime anywhere. Makes sense? As far as this goes, and this battle goes, I could put in overtime anywhere. My objective was to get enough time to get off the streets, to fast, and to give offerings to collapse America. That was my objective. As you can see, we're there. We're at that objective. See, I'm on my own. And listen, did anybody give me that objective? No. I sat back and I had to strategize. That's why I must be respected as a general. I cannot be looked at as even a soldier. I'm not even a soldier. I'm a general. I say humbly, because I strategized this whole situation. That's not a soldier. A soldier takes orders from a general. Right? I strategized the situation. That makes me a general. That don't make me a soldier. Everybody's not a general. Some people take orders. They're good at taking orders. Some people are good at strategy and knowing what to do. That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? But see, people like the glamour instead of being the job. And that's the problem. The other reasons why I can't work with certain Americans, because you want the glamour. I mean, you're standing in my position, right? You got people that standing around me right now, but they can't do what I do. So then it don't make sense to me. You can't do what I do, but you in my lane, or you trying to be in my path to act like you can, but you can't. And that's the bottom line. Either you can do this or you can't, and you can't do it. So I'm all about the work. That's how I got it done. I wasn't about no glamour. I wasn't about how people see me and all of this. I'm all about the work, getting the work done. That's why I can tell you when it's done, because that's what I'm about. I'm about this work. And if and so anybody that's about the glamour and fighting each other and trying to be cool and trying to be big like me, that's all whack stuff. That has nothing to do with the obvious. We got the results. We got it done. Me, by myself. Okay? And it's nothing that anybody can do to manipulate. Okay? You thought the wrong thing about me. You thought you seen me for somebody that I wasn't. I'm above witchcraft, and I want to make that very clear. Witchcraft is nothing to a prophet and to what we do. Witchcraft is nothing. A witch can't change the world. A witch can't change the weather. A witchcraft person cannot change a whole city in a whole country. If they could have, they would have been done it. Witchcraft can't change the whole community. So we will not be compared. I will not be compared with a random witch or a warlock. I don't care what it is. It's whatever it is that is in spirituality, it will not be comparable to us because we changed the whole community, and everybody know that. Everyone knows. These same people that set up and played, and this is why God allows his prophet to play his position so people can see who he is. See, what people don't understand is God wants his prophet to shine. God always gets his glory, but he also says, this is my servant. You can go through the Bible and see that whole pattern in so many words, in so many actions. This is my servant right here. And God will position me where I get it in. I get it done. And people recognize that it's me. And see, that's God's economy right there that people are not aware of. That's God's economy. He gonna put his servant out there. See, you used to religious people, and I'm free from that. I'm a spiritual person. I'm like a person that's in the Bible. While you're trying to trigger, it don't matter. The bottom line is we live in a whole reality of wins and wins and wins. So we don't have to pose and worry about how we thinking and worry about this every little move. I know I'm real. I know I'm past that. I know I'm not a counterfeit. I'm past that level. I don't worry about that. I don't obsess what the lames obsess about. They obsess about being real or counterfeits. That's your culture. I don't worry about that. Because my numbers, my results tells me I'm real. These results, these manifestations, these spiritual manifestations show that I'm real. I don't obsess over being real. I don't obsess over being whether I'm a counterfeit or not. My results always remind me. See, that's a prophet. I'm always ever reminded, no matter what flaws I might have, I'm reminded of my reality. And that's that. See, when you ain't really got no results, this is why I'm big on that. If you don't got no results, no numbers, you can't be as confident as I am in nothing. But when you got numbers and you got something like, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. Our objective been served. Our objective has been accomplished, mission accomplished. And we don't feel the need to compete with people that want to see if you're just merely more spiritual than they are. And then what? And then what if you are? Then what? Nothing. That's what I'm saying. So see, that goes back to a wise man being productive, bearing fruit in everything I do, making sure I'm productive. See, you didn't think I was productive because I wasn't working. I am productive. Okay, you don't listen. You in the game of who's the baddest and who's the toughest and who's the biggest, and I'm not in the game of that. I'm in the game of getting my work done. That's in the game, and that's why I got it done. Because as long as I'm focused on that, I'm not gonna make mistakes. I'm not gonna be down a whole nother path, playing a whole nother game. See what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be playing a whole nother game. I'm gonna be getting the work done. That's all I'm doing. Putting my head down and getting the work done. That's all. That's all I'm doing. And everybody else, you focused on whatever you focused on, right? And see, that's the difference. That's the difference. It ain't no fraudulence here. How we know is because I bear fruit. A fake tree can't bear fruit. If I bear fruit, that shows. If I bear fruit, that shows. See, if I bear productivity, if I produce, how I'm a fake tree and I produce. And that includes information. I bear information. How I'm going to be a fake tree and I bear information. That's a 7 hour. Yo, How to be a fake tree and fraudulent, and I'm fake, but I bear information that you don't know about. Like you marrying children in this country. That's the fruit right there. See, a tree only has to produce one type of fruit. Once I have enough potent information where I like a big bombshell information, that type of information is so potent, I don't need to do nothing else. Once I reveal to you that your country was marrying children, I don't need to do nothing else. You're confused about my objectives, aren't you? You're confused about listen to this part. Black people confused about what I need to prove. Oh, well, what I need to prove to you. Explain it intelligently what I need to prove to you. That's what I thought. You can't even tell me what I need to prove to you. You see what I'm saying? That means, listen, buddy, ain't no way in the world you can think you over me as a committee. And you can't even tell me what I need to prove. What exactly do I need to prove? And you gotta listen, you gotta put all the surroundings. You gotta add all the surroundings to make it make sense in the world we live in. Not just saying something that sounds good to the ears, but it don't make sense in 2026. Like these black movements. A black movement don't make sense in 2026 to me. No, it don't. Let's settle that. A black movement don't make sense in 2026. Nope. Because black people have killed too many people. They killed too many children. They killed too many people. How can a movement make sense in the black community when you first haven't cleaned up your community? Oh, I get it. I'm supposed to clean it up. I'm supposed to clean up your community. It doesn't work like that, buddy. Listen, you got a cartoon version of what a prophet even supposed to do. You don't even know what I'm supposed to do you? I know what I'm supposed to do. Do you know what I'm supposed to do? You don't. You don't know what I'm supposed to do. So you can't even tell me intelligently what I have to prove to you and what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's what I'm talking about, buddy. You have these glimpses of a glimpse of what you think I should do or what I'm supposed to represent, but you can't explain it intelligently. And that's confusion. You can't explain what I'm supposed to do intelligently. You can't explain my position intelligently. All you can talk about is pro-black this or pro-black that or something like that, to some to that degree, and it don't make sense when we killing each other in America. Okay, so then what you have to realize is the severity of all that has happened. So much has happened that it doesn't even make sense for you to talk about a black movement. So much killing has happened that it doesn't make sense for you to talk about a black movement until you get your community together. And it's too late for that. So compare all the geographics of how it's too late in the evening to be talking about a black movement. So then I ain't gonna waste no time doing that. You see the difference? See what a prophet does? I don't waste any time doing it. Because it doesn't make sense when you got killing going on all in the black community. You got the people mind gone. You got people that done played with me as a prophet. You done got black people that done played with the prophet. It doesn't make sense. Let's add that part too. Okay, so then it don't make sense for you to think that it's going to be some type of movement. It's not going to be some type of movement. I live in the real world. I don't live in ideals. See, that's what politicians paint is ideals. Let me show you the difference between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. had ideals, things that how a politician paint these grand ideas that look so great and good for all of us to enjoy. But the problem is to bring the ideals into reality. And many are not able to do that. So a perfect example of Martin Luther King Jr. having ideals is, I have a dream. That's a perfect example. I have a dream that black and white children will come together and sing the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last. Right? Those ideals in the I have a dream speech was not fulfilled. Malcolm X did not paint ideals. His approach was approaching reality on reality's terms, to where he did not believe that all black people was profitable. Malcolm X didn't believe that. Malcolm X did not believe that every single black person could help us and be profitable. MLK thought we all could be together in this ideal in hand, and we all can be together, but we can't. So it's a beautiful ideal to act like we all can do this great grand stuff together, but in reality we can't. So then you can go with people that paint ideals. Like the closest to being a politician would have been Martin Luther King Jr. between him and Malcolm X. MLK could have been a politician because he's going to go and paint them ideals and get the people revved up with these ideals. But 2 years later, nothing happens. Barack Obama, they all are skilled in painting ideals. But what happened? What happened great in the Barack Obama administration? Trump talking about bringing change, all these ideals. But what is actually happening? And see, that's what I'm trying to show you. Make America great again, but look what is actually happening. See, a politician is going to paint ideals. A prophet is going to engage reality similar to Malcolm X on reality's terms. Malcolm X said, there you got the house Negro and the field Negro. That means one of them is not profitable. The house Negro is not profitable because he serves the agenda of white America in America. The field Negro does not serve the agenda of white America in America. If you go back to the original house nigga, he was in the house serving, literally, he was in the house of the slave owner serving his agenda. That's what he was doing. He was serving his agenda. So whatever the slave owner wanted the house Negro to do, that's what he would do. That was the main difference between him and the field nigga. He wasn't in the house just to chill. He was in the house to serve the white man's agenda. So these days, you got house niggas and field niggas as well. The house nigga today is serving the white man's agenda today. And that's not just Trump, that's other people in the background that made the evil food chain and that works for white America. So if you have the house nigga that serves as he serves for the evil food chain, which is to sell drugs. Oh, you thought because you was selling drugs you was a field nigga, you a house nigga, because you serve the agenda of the evil food chain. The evil food chain. The evil food chain is flipped around to where black people serve purposes for white America. We get enslaved. We enslave ourselves and we kill each other. And that's the whole evil food chain that they made. You can't tell me they didn't make it when they already was hating black people and racist against black people. So how they make a evil food chain? They did. Because how we know? Because they didn't alter the stuff that was going on. They didn't alter it, did they? They didn't really try, did they? Because it became an understanding that we on top of the food chain and they ain't gonna get above this situation living like that. Selling drugs, killing each other. So we gonna keep that just like that. Even if they didn't do it on purpose, they allowed it to be just like that. For evil food chain purposes. Okay? So if you serve, with that being said, as a drug dealer a killer out in the streets, all the stuff, you are a house nigga. The field nigga is in the house, like me. So geographically, these days, the field nigga is in the house. He out the way. He don't got no friends. He don't bother. He don't want to deal with nobody. A house nigga is in the field, geographically, serving the purposes of the evil food chain by those we don't even know that is authorities over white America. Okay, do you understand? So it don't matter what all these people you put around me. These are all house niggas. That's all it is. And then they not going to be able to save face in this situation. And we don't care how black they are house niggas. And that's how we treat them. We treat house niggas like house niggas, which means how we figure out if you a house nigga or not is because you serve the agenda of white American and wickedness of America. If you serve any of that, you are a house nigga. Now, field nigga is somebody who, the best of us are the righteous, who have broken free from white agenda and white American agenda and American and in general and America agenda at large. We have broken free from it. So we don't serve the agendas of anything, or we don't help the evil food chain and keep the same things going, killing the children and killing each other. That's a house nigga. But see, you got it confused because he was running around selling drugs or shooting people, that he was a field nigga. Because geographically it looked like that. And it looked like he was a rebel against America, but at the same time he still served America because he served the evil food chain of America. See how it works, see how tricky it is. Because it'll look like you're a rebel and you out there getting your money and you hustling and you're a rebel against America, but you still serving the evil food chain, which means you are helping the slave owners. Which means you are, based on that, a house nigga. See, that's how oxymoron it is to be a drug dealer. You're actually a house nigga. See how tricky it is? Instead of humbling yourself in poverty and being a righteous African, that's what we were supposed to do, and be delivered by God. That's what we were supposed to do. Instead of that, we fell for the devil's pie. We fell for his pie instead of being a humble people and being poor and being righteous and God deliver us. We didn't choose that route. We chose to go into drugs. We chose to go into killing each other. We chose to go into all of that. We were supposed to come here and be humble and be poor and be righteous, and God would have delivered us. We didn't do that. So if we didn't do it, we didn't do it. So then you got a different outcome. So then with that being said, I don't even take no time to talk about no movements. As a prophecy, that's what you're gonna think. When they call me a prophet, you're gonna think I'm batter up next for a movement. Nope. Because I don't do stuff for this is how you know I'm not a deceptive person. I can come up here and rev up the people and talk about all the issues and talk about all this stuff what white people been doing and how it is. But the bottom line is, we part of that problem too. That's the part that we ain't equated ourselves into. We ain't equate ourselves into being part of the problem. But you are. You are part of the problem. And once you're part of the problem, that means you contradict yourself, and then you can't be a messenger. You can't be a messenger killing people. You can't be a messenger for black pride and black power, but you killing black people. You can't even step out there and do it. How you gonna step out there and do it and you're killing black people? Think about what I'm saying. Malcolm X, MLK stepped out there, not killing nobody, not doing the whole collective community with them, wasn't doing none of that. You can't step out there now. No. Now you see what I'm saying. The collective black community can't step out there now. Not like the collective black community during the times of Black Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. They can't step out there now. Now you see the real state you're in. See, for those who believe in spirituality, you understand energy can't hide, right? Okay, so if you really a con man and you really don't love black people and you killing each other, you can't hide that. It don't matter what you're talking about. You can't hide the truth. Okay? And that's why nothing ain't working. That's why the stars are not aligning spiritually where we're doing anything, because of the destruction that's going on in the black community. You can't hide that reality. So that's why nothing is working out spiritually. How's it going to work out spiritually? All you're going to do is put a whole bunch of people together that hate each other and got they got tension between each other. They can't even be together. They can't even be brought together. We can't even be brought together. And so that handles it as far as you thinking I'm supposed to do something for the black community. Nah, I did not. And now if I made you believe that, or if I insinuated that, no, I told you the truth. And you took that further than what you thought it should go. Or you took it further than what it should go. Which was, I'm going to tell you the truth. But for many different reasons, we probably couldn't do something together. But you figured based off of me telling the truth, we was going to do something together. But you didn't consider the elements that would stop that, which is all the killing, all the contradictions. Everybody want to be a leader, but they don't want to work. They don't want to do nothing. They want to sit up like a rapper and get all the glory, but you don't want to put in the work. I'm always putting in the work. That's why I do not take people that act as competitors. I do not take people that act like that we a team. No, we not. What you need to understand, I can do this from the streets. I've done it from the streets. Homeless. I don't need to be here to win. See, that's how you need to hear it. You know how you need to hear it? Do I need to be here to win? Do I need to be here to win? Yes or no? And see, that's where you get on another level of faith, where you realize geographically, I don't need to be any particular place to win. I don't have to be here to win. And so you act like you know I don't have to be here to win. I can easily shake the dust off my feet and leave. And that's what a good prophet gonna do. When I'm disrespected by a city, I'm not gonna stay in the city. This is not hip hop, man. See, I had to suffer all this hip hop mentality. Like this is thug life and rap life and all of this and Rap City. This is not that, bro. This is spirituality. And now you see how you made a fool of yourself, bringing street mentality to measure the worth of a prophet. That's how you need to hear it. And you're not the same community worthy to even do that. You're not even worthy to do it. You contradict yourself too much. That's what a prophet gonna tell you. As black people, listen, you contradict yourself too much. Okay, so then no one's able to stand in a position over God's prophet. Now you see what I'm saying? And that's where the war started. You thought you could stand over me in a position, and you wasn't worthy to stand over me in no position. In no position was you able to stand over me, and you not now. And nobody is now. And so if you're not smart, you play yourself, putting yourself in a position that you're not worthy to be in. Oh, you got to be worthy, buddy. Oh, you got to be worthy. You got to be worthy. Yes, it is about that. You got to be worthy. You got to know what you're doing. If you come out here playing with people and playing with a prophet and you ain't worthy, it's going to start a war. It's going to start a war because who are you to be out here and y'all killing each other? I know it's cliche. It's almost cliche because you done heard it so much and you done experienced it so much that saying that is almost cliche. See how bad it is? That's how bad it is. When I say killing each other, it's almost cliche to you, ain't it? But you didn't realize, okay, that's a reality with a spiritual repercussion behind it. It's a reality with a spiritual repercussion behind it. Why it's cliche to you to hear it. Why it's cliche for you to hear this It's a reality with a spiritual repercussion behind it. And now you're in the real weather. You're in the real weather, right? You're in the real weather of what is about to happen. Okay, you charged it to the game. You charged it to the game. God did not charge it to the game. All the killing, and you charging it to the game and acting like it's not a problem. Guess what? God didn't look at it the same way, buddy. God ain't looking at it like it's not a problem. It is a problem. And that's why all of this is happening. You charge it to the game over and over again as a collective community. God did not do that. So then you got to get on the real weather, like the real weather, instead of sunny and shiny and all, No, it's rainy and cloudy and gray outside. That's the real weather. Because of all the killing. You see what I'm saying? And because you ain't on God's time and you ain't watching God's timeline, you made up a fake weather. You make up a fake world that you live in, and that ain't the real world we live in. You know what? You see what I'm saying? And then it dawns on you, oops, I think he's right. We lived in a fake world this whole time. Now you see the real world, where judgment is coming because of all the killing that you didn't think God was. If God loved black people, what you think he think about all this killing these children? What God gonna do? Charge it to the game like you? And he see all these children dying. These children getting shot all the time. What you think God gonna do? Oh, have the same nonchalant approach to all this stuff like you? Where you gonna just say, do better? You think that's what God gonna do? And say, oh, we just need to do better. You've been doing that for so long. And you haven't been watching the clouds gathering like a storm. You haven't been watching it. The clouds been gathering for a long, long time. For all the killing that's been going on. See, that's the whole weather you didn't live in. You ain't living that. Because you went back to the culture. How you gonna live in it? You went back to people that kind of just, charge it to the game. We gonna party. You went over there. You didn't come over here and stand in the real weather with the righteous Africans that could see the clouds gathering because of all the killing alone, not even what the white man is doing to you. See, it's a whole world of descriptions that you didn't even know what was going on and how this really was over here because you was in the fake weather. You was in the sunny and shiny weather for black people, but you wasn't in the real weather where y'all was killing each other. And what God was going to do about it. And what God has been doing about it. So now you see you in the real weather now. See, if you would have gotten the real weather, you would have seen all of it all long time ago. You would have been in the real weather. You never was. You never was. Now imagine you in the fake weather talk about a movement. Talk about what God is going to do over there. You see the fake weather? That's what I'm talking about, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. It's a fake weather. Now get in the real weather and you're like, oops, I think it's almost over. Oops, I don't think God is going to hold back judgment because we killing each other too. He ain't going to let us live because we killing each other too. There you go. Now you're in the right weather. Now you're in the right weather where you realize you contradict yourself so bad as black people. Listen, God ain't holding none of this war back. He ain't holding nothing back. Now, there you go. Now add to that, this is how it gets worse. Add to that real weather that you play with a prophet. You play with a prophet. Add to that real weather. You play with a prophet. Add to that. Already killing each other, killing children, everything like that, right? Now the culture comes in arrogantly and see somebody like me. They listen to my brother. They listen to everything he talk about. But you see, I'm a cool person. You see, I'm a normal person. But because you're arrogant in the culture and everything like that, and I fought back and I stood off from you, I separated myself, you decided to fight me, right? You already had so much bad weather. And for you to play with a prophet, it just made it a million times worse. That's exactly how it is in that order. Okay? Nothing fabricated and nothing exaggerated. That's how it is. I can't be, how you want to put this, nice and happy-go-lucky with the community, and it's not on that level. It's not in that weather. That's not the real weather. The real weather is gray, dark, and raining, and thundering and lightning. That's the real weather. Why you want to have a picnic? You want a picnic. You want to bring out a picnic basket, don't you? You want to bring out a picnic basket, don't you? It's like trying to bring, it's so sad. It's like people trying to bring out picnic baskets in the rain. You see all this rain going on, and you know you ain't going nowhere. You know you ain't about to do nothing. But here you are packing up your car with the picnic baskets, and where you going? When you get there, it's going to be nothing but rain. That's exactly how it is when you think we're going to do a movement and we're going to do something. You go outside and see all this rain, and you got a picnic basket. That's what these pro-black leaders are like. People with 2 picnic baskets in their hand going to a park and it's raining outside. Everybody looking at you like you crazy. We looking at you like you crazy talking about a movement in 2026. Now you see what I'm talking about. See, you didn't really know who the righteous Africans was. I represent a righteous African, which we have the proper worldviews on America better than even these pro-black people. No, because you gonna halfway go with some of the stuff they doing. You're gonna halfway go with some of the American stuff. The righteous African gonna completely realize it's all a trap, it's all a game, it's no good. It's no good for the African. See, you gonna let some of that stuff in because you're not righteous. Which it is to corrupt you anyway. It's to corrupt you. The righteous African gonna realize and abstain from more of it than you do. See the difference? See the difference? You see the difference, don't you? We gonna abstain from more of this foolishness than you do. While you talking about you're a righteous African, you don't abstain from this stuff in America. Okay, so now that pulls you up to date. What it is now is not a matter of race. It's a matter of good versus evil. That's all it is. And that's where it gets tricky because, you know, you can't hold on to everybody that's black because you got righteous Africans and wicked Africans. This is a war between the righteous Africans and the wicked Africans. You see the difference? You see what's going on? This is a war between the righteous Africans and the wicked Africans. And you can dress it up in whatever little secret society and talking about these different secret societies. We ain't talking about that in 2026. It is a war between the righteous Africans and the wicked Africans. That's what it is. And that clears the air. That clears the air from all this, well, this person is this and then no. Ain't nobody no sellout. Ain't nobody no Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom is gone. You know what Uncle Tom is at? Uncle Tom won. That's where he at. He won. That's where he at. He done won so good it became a location. You know where he at? He won. When you win that much, win becomes a location. Because now people gonna look at Uncle Tom and say, we understand why you don't deal with black people. He won. All Uncle Tom gotta do today is to say, oh well, look how they doing, look how they killing each other. See what I'm talking about? Look how they do each other. Look how they did that prophet. You got some Uncle Toms talking about that, about how y'all did me. Look how they did that prophet. That's why we don't deal with them. And what white people gonna say? They're sitting up listening to Uncle Tom. Well, all they can do is sit there and just listen. That's all they can do. See, the Uncle Tom won. He won. So anybody talking is not an Uncle Tom because Uncle Tom won. Why you gotta say something? Uncle Tom ain't got nothing to say because he don't got to have nothing to say. All he gonna do is pull up everything everybody doing. Killing children, killing black people, all that. And look, it's over. He ain't gonna go no further. He ain't gonna go. So anybody talking is not an Uncle Tom. You misunderstand people that's talking. Uncle Tom won. He living his best life over there with white people. He drinking Chardonnay in the backyard right now on a Saturday night. He living his best life with white people. Uncle Tom left the hood in the 80s, in the 90s. The real Uncle Toms. They left the hood as soon as you start selling crack. Which was the 80s and the 90s. Uncle Tom ain't around here no more. Uncle Tom was professional enough and with white people enough to make it out the hood. He made it out the hood. He was good. He was professional enough with white people enough. Uncle Tom ain't in no hood. Uncle Tom, as you know it, is removed from black people. The real Uncle Toms. Let's get that understood. The real Uncle Tom is removed from black people because he chose to remove himself. Remind you, he already had problems with you. Why you think he gonna be over here with all this ratchet stuff going on? Man, he gonna make it his business to get away from you. He been made it his business to get away from you. He been gone from the black community. The real Uncle Tom has been gone from the black community since the 80s and the 90s. He ain't around here no more. So my point is, anybody talking, you confused about who it is because you ain't, listen, you in the fake weather. You in that synthetic weather. You don't even know why people talking right now. You don't even know why people talking right now. You know why? Because you're so desensitized to all the foolishness that anybody that's supposed to be black ain't saying nothing. That just went over your head, right? Anybody talking right now is not an Uncle Tom. Because you're so used to black people not talking, you label somebody talking as an Uncle Tom. You haven't, and then because you haven't listened to the righteous African who is not going to listen, sugarcoat nothing. I ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. See, a righteous African is not going to sugarcoat all this stuff that the black people doing. No. And guess what? You're going to be calling a righteous man an Uncle Tom. You know why? Because he ain't talking about, listen, he ain't biting his tongue about nothing. He ain't biting his tongue about nothing. You see where we at? We in a graveyard full of broken dreams and broken promises to each other as black people. We in a whole graveyard. Okay? Why you talk about what? See, when you see me step on the scene, you should have listened. If you had a brain, you would have just let me be, buddy. You would have just let me be. You would have said, hold up. That man talking about something, right? We ain't got nothing going on. Listen, man, let's keep it 100. We ain't got nothing going on. I'm going to step back from this person and let that person be. We ain't going to have nothing to do with that. What them white folks doing is what them white folks doing. But it ain't going to be us that got something to do with that. Because we want that to represent us. We want that to empower us. And we want God to lead us with that. See, you didn't look at it that way. And what I'm trying to show you is you can't misuse and abuse God's prophet, and he keep bringing me back to you like a dog. You know how you kick a dog? Whatever you do to a dog, you can kick him and say, come back here. Come back here. Come again. Come again. You can keep hitting the dog in the head, and he keep coming back to you. I'm not saying you're a cruel person, but how you ever did that? As a kid, you ain't never hit a dog and then say, come back here. And he came right back to you. He came right back, didn't he? A cat don't do that. A cat don't forget nothing. You do a cat like that, you hit a cat gonna run and you ain't gonna see him like for a day. You ain't gonna see him for hours. You got to go find that cat You thought you could you listen. You thought you could have hit me in the head like a dog, and I'll come back licking my lips and talking about and coming back and kick and licking you on your leg. It didn't happen, buddy. You can't misabuse and misuse God's people and then think I'm gonna be coming back to you and God gonna have me in the same position. No. And I didn't ask for special treatment. I asked to be treated just like everybody else. That's equality. You didn't treat me like everybody else. You didn't even do that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, buddy. The truth is, and we're going to sum this all up with one statement. You was ghetto with ghetto politics about me, about the prophet. That's it. That's all it was. That's what led you the wrong way. That's what led you all the way wrong. It was your fault. I'm calling it how it is. And you trying to polish a turd and you can't. You can't polish a turd. You came out here playing and you can play these white folks, but you can't play me. You're trying to polish a turd and make it make sense, and it don't. You're trying to make it look like you had good intentions, but you didn't. You was ghetto and ratchet, and that's what it is. That's what the origin of this situation is. Whether you want to change it now or not. You know what the origin is? The origin was you was ghetto and ratchet, and now you're trying to polish a turd. That's all you're doing. And you insulting my intelligence and other smart people intelligence because everybody seen what you was doing. Okay, so then you trying to polish a turd now and trying to make it make sense now. It never will. That's why I love my situation, because all I got to do is show people what you did, and they know what you did, and they're gonna be on my side. It ain't hard to understand. And so you just trying to polish a turd. That's all you're trying to do. And we on a whole nother lane, bro. We in a whole nother lane now. I done wrote Maduro and everything. I done wrote President Maduro. All these black folks talking about, listen, if you was awake, you would have wrote Maduro. If you was awake, you would have been protesting about Maduro. If you was awake, it would be nationwide protests about why this South American Venezuelan president is here in this country, and they ain't really tell us how they got him here without approval from the Congress. Congress did not approve this. So how is he here then? How is it legal? And that's how we know you ain't part of no movement, because if you was, you would be out here protesting about President Maduro. If this was the 60s, black people and the Hispanic and Latinos would be all out here in the streets protesting about President Maduro. That's what we'd be focused on. We wouldn't be focused on no Epstein files or no other stuff. We would be focused on President Maduro locked up with his wife. That's what I'm talking about. With his wife now in Brooklyn, right here in Brooklyn. How can you sleep right here and know that president is from another country? He's sleeping, he in prison, and they can't tell you why. They can't tell you why. They not telling you why. They telling you these bogus charges, but they not telling you how they had probable cause to go get him out of his country as a president. That's not no leader. That's not no citizen of Venezuela. That's a president. They flexing on you and you don't even know it. Man, they flexing on you and you don't even know it, bro. I feel like that's flexing. That's how I look at it. I think they flexing on minorities by doing that as white Americans. I think they flexing on minorities. That's what I think it is. That's what I think. I think they flexing. Like they just doing whatever they want to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all. It's all, but, God is in control. You just got to know what side you on, man. And if you got that superstitious and religious and traditional mentality like God is just with black people, listen, bro. The prophet is going to shut that down. All this idea that God is with us and we just humbly, lowly people and God is just moving us through America, that's gone, buddy. You killing each other through America. That's what you're doing, and you've been doing it too long. For you to think that you're some lowly, humble people that's just moving slowly through America. That's foolishness, man. So then you become a person that live in the fake weather or the real weather. Where, okay, I'm not practicing insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Okay, so if I keep coming out here doing the same thing, talking about let's do better, let's be better, but nothing is changing, I begin to practice insanity as far as race relations with black people. I began to practice insanity because that's what it is. Love can make you an insane person. Ask any man. Ask any man how insane a man can become with a woman. Doing the same thing, expecting her to change, but she not. But how long you keep doing the same thing? You got racial insanity. Relational insanity. Relational insanity is when you with a person and you know they're not changing. They've been doing the same thing over and over again. That's relational insanity. People in your family. Let's go besides a relationship. People in your family. You practicing, family insanity. You see these people keep playing in your face in your family. And you keep playing with them. You keep talking to them. You keep loving them. See, love is what's going to get you killed, like people say, because you practicing insanity. You see them doing the same thing over and over again. But see, us as black people, we big on love. White folks, they a whole different animal over there in their families. See, we try to hold together no matter what, because we already dysfunctional. We already are. Most black people got dysfunctional families, so we try to overlook things and pull it together, But it's a thin line between trying to pull it together and getting played, and practicing relational insanity in your family. You practicing that in your family. And then what make it worse? Drum roll, you come out here and practice it in the world with the whole collective black community. You see everything they doing. You see all the stuff they doing, and you stayed the same. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. That is insanity with the collective black community. And you mad at me because I don't practice insanity. Oh, listen, that's what it is. You'll be the first one to question somebody's mental health, but you practice insanity. Don't you practice insanity? Well, by definition, whether you prefer to acknowledge it or not, if you keep doing the same thing, in so many ways, it's the same thing basically, and you keep doing it with black people. Listen, insanity does not discriminate, does it? It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say, well, that's because of black people. That's not really insanity. You keep doing the same thing, but we're gonna give you a pass. That ain't really insanity. It's your family, so that's not really insanity. That's why I love the definitions. Definitions don't discriminate about who it is and what race you are and how rich you are or how poor you are. It don't matter. You don't get a pass because you broke. If you practice insanity broke. Because you in poverty don't mean you an angel. You still gonna be defined by definitions. That's why these days I don't have no mercy just because you a poor person. I can show you homeless bums that is working with the Freemasons and the secret societies. I can show you homeless people that's out in the streets working with these butthurt people that's against us. So then when you live in these days, I don't care if you're poor. I'm looking at your spirit. I'm looking at how you moving. I don't care how poor you are. You moving funny. And if you moving funny, listen, you my enemy. It's that simple. See, back in the day, man, the old school dads and papas made it clear. If you my enemy, you my enemy. It's that simple. Old school black dudes, you listen. You play with me, you're my enemy. That's it. I ain't trying to work it out. I ain't trying to work it out at all. You got to work it out. Listen. I ain't got to work out nothing. That's how you move. And you demand your respect, man. That's a part of life. If people take it personal, how I look at it, man, how can you take it personal and I don't know you personally? If I don't know you personally, how personal can you take it? That's how you tell people in these times and days. You know, you got to know what to say to people. How you gonna take it personal and I don't know you personally? I don't really know nothing about you except the little stuff you volunteer. If I don't really know you, how you gonna take it personal? Because you choose to take it personal. That's what it is. You choose to take it personal. You personalize it and flatter yourself and personalize it to you, and nobody don't even really. I don't really know you, do I? Okay, so then how you gonna personalize it towards you? Look at every situation I've been in. I don't even know these people's names, bruh. We ain't even on a first name basis. They only know me because of the politics. But me and them ain't on a first name basis. But look how close they are, like they know me. Because they want to know me. That's what it is. You want to know me, you don't. So then, on my behalf, it's not personal. Because I don't know you personally. So how is it personal? So then all you can do is judge things that I do based on principles and rules and regulations, because you know you don't know this person personally. And then when you come to my rules and regulations, you can't buck the rules and regulations, because everybody apply these same rules and regulations. It's just like that. Because people flatter themselves, and I don't even know you. I don't even know your name. I don't even know where you come from. So imagine you taking it personal. When somebody don't even know you, ain't even held a conversation with you, ain't even held a credible conversation with you. That's people, we don't confuse them by anything else but people that want to be famous. People that want to be known. People that want to be in the mix of this situation. That's all it is, you know. It's people that want to be in the mix of this situation and it don't make sense. See, it's easy when you stick by yourself to see people like that, because I don't hold no conversations with nobody. So how could you be so personal with me? How can you be so familiar or offended when I don't even know you and I ain't talking to you? So how mad could you be at a person? This is how you figure out who your enemies are. How mad could you be at a person you don't interact with? But I just come to you for one time and you got an attitude. I don't interact with you, so how could you be so angry at a person you don't know? Because they into politics. That's how you figure it out. If you come to somebody that don't know you and they're like they act like they know you almost by the way they angry towards you, that's how you know they in your politics. Think about it. If I'm acting like I'm angry with you and I don't really know you, then what that tell you? You know what it tells me? Listen, I'm a win because I'm gonna act like I supposed to, which is I don't really know you. So I ain't finna feed into anything you trying to do. I ain't gonna feed into it because I don't really know you. So how far am I gonna go? How far am I gonna go? I'm not gonna go very far, buddy. I'm not gonna go very far. See, it's a right way and the wrong way to do anything. It's a right way and the wrong way to love people too. Did you know that? You can say you love people. It's a right and the wrong way to love somebody. That's a song, ain't it? It's a right way and the wrong way to love people. You know what I mean? And you got toxic love. You got toxic love. You got healthy love. You got toxic hate, and you got healthy hate. Healthy hate. You know what healthy hate is? Healthy hate is in the Bible. The Bible says it's a time to love and a time to hate. Why you acting like it don't say that? For the Christian community, Why you acting like you don't know that it says it's a time to hate in the Bible? Okay then, so then what that means to you? Explain what that means. Oh, you're gonna try to be poetic and act like it means something like, well, you know, you just have to step over here and you know what I mean, right? Oh, but really you just gotta, it's just a certain way you gotta move. And bro, it's hate. The Bible says it's a time to love and a time to hate. Okay, so you've been handicapped all your life, operating on only love. But you didn't elevate, and you thought maybe because you had 33 degrees of Freemasonry, you thought you was on my level. You're not. You know why I know you're not? Because you the type of people that try to operate only on love like everybody else. It's not a time of love. Love don't work in every situation. You know how I know? Go back to all the broken relationships you had. You practiced love, didn't you? You practiced love, didn't you? So why didn't it work? If love is perfect, it should work, right? Love is perfect, but you don't supposed to apply it to every situation. How many times you been in a relationship and you love, and it didn't work out? You gave nothing but love. And you thought that was going to make it work. Did it make it work? Okay, so then either love works every time or it doesn't. Which one is it? Everybody talk about love is the answer. Okay, well, let's go back to your broken relationships. Was love the answer? Love was not the answer. Because if love was the answer, why didn't it work? If love was the answer in the world, why isn't it working? Oh, by the way, y'all busy loving each other over there, right? How's that working out for you? How's that working out with y'all loving each other over there? How's that working out? It's not really working out too much differently, right? Not too much differently. That's all I'm saying. See, the prophet elevates to the level to understand there's two elements in life, dynamics. The two dynamics in life is love, healthy love, and healthy hate. If you practice one over the other, you're going to be handicapped. Your life, you can have all the money in the world, and why your life looking like a cripple? Ooh. You got all the money. You're competent. Why the results of your life still look like you're a cripple? With dysfunctional relationships and broken dreams and relationships. You know why? Because you've been handicapped as humanity, only operating in love. It ain't God's fault. It's not God's fault. The Bible says it's a time of love and a time to hate. How you gonna blame God? You didn't take it literal, did you? Oh well, you took the love part literal. Why you didn't take the hate part literal? I'm gonna tell you why. Because all your philosophers of the world only operated with understanding of love. So all the people that you get your philosophies from, all these philosophy people, Shakespeare, all of them, Homer, all the Greek philosophers, you know what I'm talking about. All these Greek philosophers, all these philosophers of the world that you get these quotes from, guess what they never elevated to? They never elevated to understand healthy hate. The greatest master understands I can't love everybody. Because if I love you, you might manipulate while I'm loving you. You might not be qualified for love. Oh, everybody's qualified for love. Not relationally. Not love is in a relationship. If black people keep stepping on you, you supposed to go love them. Nope. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. If your family keeps stepping on you, you supposed to go keep loving them. Nope. You taught yourself with the philosophers of love all around the world. You took that into Christianity, and that's what made it so bad. You see what the problem is? You took already this philosophies of love, and then you took it into Christianity, and you became double stuffed love. Like double stuffed Oreos, you became double stuffed love. You just double stuffed cookies of love, ain't you? Double stuffed of love, ain't you? And how did that work out for you? It didn't, did it? You know why it didn't work out? Because listen, you did not elevate to the highest levels of understanding the yin to the yang, night to day, cat to dog, sun to moon. It's so many signs of this. This is a contrast to this contrast. So what's the other element to work with besides love? What other element is it? Healthy hate. That's the sun to the moon, the moon to the sun. The highest philosophers understand, how could I just operate in love? When I see everything has a yin to a yang, right? There's a contrast to everything. So where's the contrast to love that works, but it still works? Like the sun works, the moon works. The moon isn't evil. The moon works, right? Okay, the moon works, right? Right. Okay, so without the moon, it would be very dark, even though you don't see it really shining. Hate, healthy hate works, and you don't know how to work it. I know how to work it. See, on the spectrum of healthy hate or hate, healthy hate, there's a whole spectrum. To understand any dynamic is to stretch it within a whole spectrum. Okay? Once you have a spectrum, you have to choose to understand each element of the spectrum. It's not as simple as you think it is. Hate, healthy hate, has different dynamics on a spectrum. It's not just, look, man, I'm going to show you that you already been working in healthy hate and you didn't know it. I'm going to show you that you already been working in healthy hate and you didn't know it. Healthy hate among you is tough love. Tough love is healthy hate. This is what people label as tough love because they're so brainwashed by philosophers of the world that you didn't realize that tough love is healthy hate. So let's look at the attributes or the characteristics or the traits of tough love. What does tough love do? Tough love says, I gotta treat you like this to get my respect. Tough love is, we ain't gonna go out tonight because I feel disrespected. So I gotta give you tough love. Because love isn't working. If I give you love, I'm not going to get my respect. So I got to practice tough love. Why do you practice tough love? Because love is not working. Why do you choose to operate in tough love and not just love the person? And just go by things as normal? Why not just act normal? And things will work out. Because you realize that love won't work. You won't get what you need. if you just love. So then how do you get what you want when you're being disrespected? How do you get what you want when people is stepping on you? You have to practice tough love. But you're so brainwashed by philosophers of love that you didn't realize tough love is actually healthy hate. See, so humanity still has had the epiphany that I can't use love all the time. That's not going to work. I have to use tough love. So you've still been doing it. I'm showing you how you've still been doing it as humanity. So it's not something that your mind or your reasoning did not come to the conclusion of. You just did not become a master of tough love. And you didn't understand the whole spectrum of healthy hate. That's why I'm the master that I am. Because I don't operate in love when it ain't working. Just like you wouldn't operate in love when you need to practice tough love. When you need to practice tough love, you're going to give love, and you know that ain't going to work. You know you've been disrespected. But you're going to still practice love. No, you're going to practice tough love. You do it in relationships, you do it with your family, you do it with your kids. If your kids, this is a perfect example of tough love. Your kids, right? If your kids been skipping school, and then you get a letter in the mail that your child hasn't been to school for like 2 weeks. Oh, it happens. It happens. You gonna practice love and you gonna take them out to go get pizza that same weekend. You got the letter on a Friday. Let's say that the worst time for a child. You got the letter on a Friday, right? You got the letter in the mail. You open up the letter. Such and such hasn't been at school in 14 days, and we was just wondering what was going on. We are concerned because the child hasn't attended any classes in 14 days. And you're like, really? Oh, really? Really? Wow. Okay. As soon as your kid, mind you, the mail might get there quicker in some places. You get the mail, your kid come home, hey mom, how you doing? Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. So how's school going? Oh, it's going. It's going. Oh, it's going, huh? It's going without you, isn't it? Oh, what you mean by that? Well, school is going without you. You say it's going, but it's going without you, isn't it? Well, yeah, it's going without you. It's been going without you for about the past 2 weeks. School been going without you, and then it dawns on them that they know. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I found out that you haven't been to school for 2 weeks. So, I know I'm in trouble. Yes, you are. Okay? So what's going to happen? Kid might be that tough. So what's going to happen? Okay, well, listen. You ain't going, we was going to go get pizza this weekend. We ain't doing none of that. We was going to go to the movies. Oh, I wanted to see it. Nah. Nope. Nope. No movie. No movie, no pizza. Oh, and you was going to bring your little friend over for the weekend. That's going too far. No, it's not going too far. You skipped 2 weeks of school, no pizza, no movie, and your friend ain't coming over here on the weekend. And we was going to subscribe a new little app so you can watch your little movies. Oh, we ain't going to do that. Guess how long we ain't going to do it? For 2 weeks. It's going to be 2 weeks from now. It's going to be 2 weeks from now before we subscribe that little TV app that you wanted. Yeah, it's going to be 2 weeks. That's how long you skip school, right? So that's how long you're going to wait. You're going to wait 2 weeks. And I guarantee you, when your children feel the bite of that, oh, here's the worst part. Guess what? No phone. Give me your phone. What am I going to do? I don't know. You tell me. What am I going to do? No, well, listen. This is what we're going to do. I'm just take your phone. I'm going to just take the phone. Just give me the phone. Just give me the phone. You listen, you should be glad I ain't going to beat you. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take your phone. That's going to be your beating. Your beating is going to be I'm confiscating that phone. Give me that phone. Okay, now, this is healthy hate. That's not tough love. Love has certain attributes, and that's all it is. Love embraces by nature. So there's no such thing of love as another nature. Love embraces, love gives, love does, gives you what you want, so to speak. So healthy hate or tough love does not have the attributes of love, does it? It doesn't have the characteristics of love. So why you label it as tough love? Because your philosophers and your masters never knew, they did not elevate to the highest level of understanding healthy hate. So they just labeled it what they was inclined to do for results, what their mind, what God, the nature that God gave them to be inclined, the brain he gave them to be inclined to understand that I'm not getting love. Love is not going to work in every situation. You begin to use tough love and you labeled it as love because you did not even think in your wildest dreams that you could get away with hate. But it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Okay, so then you tell me what it means. How could it mean love and it's love in there twice? Oh, so you gonna see, I'm gonna tell you what people like you gonna do. You're gonna make it poetic, like well, you just gotta be over here. You just gotta be over there. That's what that hate means in the Bible. You just gotta be over here. You did not win in life because you did not understand healthy hate. You got 4 dynamics of life. The most powerful dynamics are tough love and toxic love. Healthy hate and toxic hate. Toxic hate is what made you think that it would not be possible for healthy hate. For a whole spectrum of something that's besides love, that gets me my results, that gets me what I need. See, love and hate is all about getting what you need, right? Right. And interacting with human beings, it's all about getting what you need, right? Okay, so if you give love over and over again to black people or to America and you're not getting what you need, you're still getting disrespected. You are not supposed to be practicing healthy love. No. You're supposed to be practicing healthy hate. But your forefathers and your ancestors did not properly teach you. So the prophet is the only one that comes and teach you. See, that's what lets you know I'm a prophet, because I bear fruit by way of information. Information you ain't never heard. You ain't never heard of healthy hate, and I know that. I know I'm producing fruit that you ain't never heard and you ain't never ate. Oh, go find me one person that's been in your life that told you about healthy hate. They used the term. They actually used that term. Toxic love and healthy love. Toxic hate and healthy hate. Go find me one person in your life that told you about healthy hate. The Freemasons didn't do it. Nobody did. Nobody told you about it. Oh, it's important. It's important. It's a matter of life and death for some people. You love the wrong person, you go to an early grave. You keep loving people, you will die. So you can't say it's not irrelevant for 2026 what I'm talking about, buddy. Listen, man, listen. If you practice love with the wrong people, you will be dead. That's why I don't do it. Once I know you're an enemy, I treat you like an enemy. That's the bottom line. Now, the Bible says, love your enemies, right? But that's not every enemy. And that's not a certain way in the same attributes that you think it is. Some people are so simple-minded. You think love your enemies means you're supposed to go over there and hang out with them. That's what it means. Well, that wouldn't be wisdom, would it? Well, what if these people mean you harm? You're supposed to go over there and just love and just be with them? You see what I'm saying? See, some people go to the extreme with terminology, and you don't even know. Listen, you go to the extreme with terminology to fit your narrative. Oh, you're supposed to love your enemies. It's dependent. That's a trick question. I'm not saying the Bible is. You ask, I'm supposed to love my enemies. That's a trick. That got to be a trick question. Because I live in the real world, right? And if you oppose me over and over again, you are not considered the enemy that I'm supposed to love. Hold up. Let's slow down right there. If you are consistently opposing me, you are not the enemy I'm supposed to love. No, I'm not. No. You know why? Because that would go against the wisdom of God. If I love these people that could cause me harm and could possibly cause me harm or would be causing me harm, then where is the wisdom of God in that? You put love before wisdom. You can't put love before wisdom, and that's what you do. Oh boy, that's it right there. That's 7 hours. You put love before wisdom. So then if you can't love everybody, you can't love all enemies. No, you can't. No, you can't, because it's not wisdom. And that's going to be the most extreme antagonistic person in your life is the enemy, right? Okay, so how you going to love every enemy? You can't. You can't love every enemy. So you have to learn what healthy hate is to be the full master and sensei that I am. This is why I tell people, you can't act like senseis and you're not senseis. No, listen, buddy, listen. You think you on my level, but you don't produce fruit. See, there's a type of people that just have spirituality, right? Spirituality don't mean you're on my level. Because God didn't make a prophet just spiritual. He gave me information like Jesus. Jesus wasn't just spiritual. Jesus had all information. You know what I mean when I say that? Jesus was the source of information. If you have a high-ranking person, they should be producing out their own mouth, not as a collective community, not all of us together. If you are a high-ranking person yourself, you should be producing information. Oh, you thought I was done? That nobody heard. You should be producing information nobody heard. I ain't never heard you say nothing that we ain't never heard. You done heard me say stuff more than one time that you ain't never heard. When you're high-ranking, you're going to produce sound bites that nobody ever heard. Until you do that, all you have is butt-naked spirituality. That don't make you higher ranking than us, because nobody can do anything with it. So at some point, you have to articulate information to elevate community, not just spirituality. No, you have to have information. You can't just have spirituality and say, oh, we gonna just come all up now together. Just come over here and do this spiritual stuff. It ain't gonna work, because you gotta elevate the mind. In order to elevate the mind, you gotta have information. This is why many of you have failed relationships, because you did not elevate in your mind, and you think you did. You know how I know you didn't? That's why I can be a counselor. You know how I know you didn't elevate your mind? Because I look at all the broken relationships you got. Why if you a good discern, this is what's gonna get everybody right here, even the best of us. If you were so discerning, if you were so spiritual, why you got with bad people that messed over your life? Why you got in relationships with people and it wasn't right, and they wasn't right? You so discerning, right? So if you so discerning, then why you got so many broken relationships? You done been married 2-3 times. How? This is why I can't stress this enough. Nobody knows it all, man. And you know how I know that for sure? You know how I know it for sure? Besides a biased opinion. Because if you knew it all, then why you got so many broken relationships? Now, you supposed to be able to see who everybody is. You supposed to be able to see who everybody is. So then why your life don't reflect that? First of all, your life got to reflect you seeing everybody for who they are, but then to be credible, right? For you to be credible with seeing people for who they are. Don't your life first supposed to be credible concerning that? Which means if I believe that you are able to discern and see people for who they are, I'm going to look at your life. And if I see that you have 3, 4, 5 broken relationships, listen, buddy, you like the rest of us. You would have one person, and that's the person, and you would know that's the one for you, and that's the right one. Why it didn't work like that? Because you don't know it all. You think you do, but you don't. How I know you don't, for sure, besides opinion and biased opinion. See, I say things besides biased opinion. That's what I want you to understand. That you can't argue with this. You can't argue with what I'm saying. If you got 3, 4, 5 relationships, how is you all discerning of all discernments? How can you see it all? You can't. You can't see it all. And so that's where you are. That's your human limitation. And we not going to let you come here with me when your life is broken with 2 and 3 relationships that you couldn't see it all, but you going to come see it all with me. But you can see it all with me, but you couldn't see it all for yourself. Make it make sense. That's 7 hours. Make it make sense when you can see it all for me, but you can't see it all for yourself. You can see it all for yourself. You can't see it all for yourself, but you can see it for me, though. See, that's how you know people are not credible. That's how you don't let people play with you like they're credible. Okay, I'm going to go to your life first. Okay, if you were so credible with seeing people, why you couldn't see people for yourself in your own relationships? You got 2 and 3, 4, 5 broken relationships. Come on, stop playing, buddy. Listen, a person that I'm a whole credible that can see people and discern people is a person that's been married to their high school sweetheart. A person that's been married for 20, 30 years. The same person. They got great relationships all around them. I'm not going a person that's being bounced around like a pinball and you getting played over here and played over there, but you can see who I am. So why you getting played so much? Why you getting played all the time? Because you can't see things for what they really are, and that's what we talk about. See, that's how you cut to the chase. You look at people's life. I'm not going to look at nobody. Listen, I'm not going to hold nobody credible that's a bum in their life. If you a bum and you got 3 and 4 different relationships, and how can you be a counselor? Think about it. No, you need to sit down somewhere for a while. At least for a while. Get yourself together before you... See, your problem in America is you try to come see the prophet before you got yourself together, buddy. All these black people out here killing each other, but you tried to come see me. It's the same thing. It's the same application. It's the same perspective that you need to apply. Understanding that you don't see it all. You're not all that. If you was all that for black people, you wouldn't be killing each other. So then you have to come down to reality where you really are. And see, some people don't. You know why? Because you feel like you want to live your potential, right? Okay, but while you living your potential, you got to live real life. Hold on. If you haven't learned certain things yet, if you're still struggling, but you're trying to get some certain particular place in life, You can't live like that's you right now, because what we see in front of us is what you really are. Okay? That's proper understanding. That's proper counsel. Don't try to get this is what the old school say. Don't try to get my house in order before you get yours in order. Don't try to clean up my house, and you got a nasty house yourself. Before you try to get my life in order, get yours in order, buddy. And listen, that's for the collective community. Before you try to get my house in order, get yours in order first. That's how it works. That's what the old school say. No, before y'all talk about anybody, stop killing each other. Stop killing the children. Stop killing the children, buddy. Okay, so you're not credible enough until then to counsel us and talk about anything. No, you're not. You're not credible enough. Back to credibility. Black people don't have credibility. No, you don't. How you got credibility? You killing each other? You killing black people? You killing black children? You're not credible enough to talk about anything that's going on. All you can do basically is defend yourself. That's all you can do. You can't talk about, injustices with a straight face. Injustices? Well, let's talk about black killing. Let's talk about black people killing each other. Let's talk about that. You don't want to talk about that. So you want to talk about what? You see what I'm talking about? See, if you really cared about black people, you would address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is you killing each other and killing black children. You can't talk about nothing until you get past that. Somebody made you believe that you could still come out here and you killing each other. No, you can't. No, you can't. See, you got confused with the ancestors that came out here and they wasn't killing each other like you killing each other. They wasn't killing no black children. Not like that. So you got to confuse between their movement and your movement. Your movement is you lack credibility. You can't even talk with a straight face about nobody killing black people. You the one doing it the most. Last time I checked, black people was killing black children more than police. You can't even take who killed black children the most? Police or black people? What's worse, a pedophile or a person that kills black children? A person that kills black children is worse than a pedophile. What's worse, a person that kills black children or a black person that kills black children that's supposed to be protecting their own community, or a pedophile when the child still lives? The child still can live, right? When you kill a black child, the child still can't live, right? What's worse, a pedophile or a person that kills black children? It's common sense. And guess what? Here's the punchline. Only the righteous African is going to point it out. Only the righteous African is going to say, what's worse than a pedophile? Black people killing black children. That's worse than a pedophile, buddy. By everybody's standard. See, everything I say, like I said, it's beyond a biased opinion. Ain't nobody going to disagree with me that black people killing black children is worse than a pedophile, buddy. Okay? Okay, so let's get past the cultural perspective that the worst thing in the community is a pedophile. No, the worst thing in the community is black people killing black children. See that part? You still don't, you see how biased you are? Which means, guess what it means? You're not as serious about protecting children as you think you are. Well, if you was, then you would admit this. You would admit that it ain't even close, that black people killing black children is the worst thing around here. That's the worst monsters and animals around here. Oh, it ain't? Oh, sending children to an early grave? That's not the worst thing around here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And guess what? You ain't gonna get the wicked Africans to even think about it and point it out. And see, what change is gonna be produced? Through me or through them? See, change comes through information as well. This is why we can't talk about spirituality only, because they'll talk about spirituality only, but they can't change the minds of the people because they don't have no information. They not, and then they too close to black people to tell them the truth. They ain't gonna tell them that you worse than pedophiles killing black children. You worse. Let's understand it. You're worse. Okay, so now you see the real world, the real weather. You're in the real weather now, right? You're in the real weather. You're in the real weather. Okay, now you see, you the one got the liability towards the children. Ironically, it's you. Yes, it's you. You kill the most children. In fact, black people kill the most children than anybody in the country. Who kills more children than black people? Nah, you the one talking about pedophiles, right? Okay, sucker. Who kills more children than black people? Police don't. Who physically kills more children than black people? Nobody, buddy. Listen, buddy, that's why nobody don't feel sorry for you. That's why we don't feel sorry for you. Okay? And we're not Uncle Toms. We're not sellouts. We the righteous Africans that do not let people sit around and talk about pedophiles, but then you won't acknowledge that you're worse than pedophiles by killing children. You're worse. You're the worst thing around here. In fact, you're some of the worst people in the whole world. Well, show me a collective community that kills children and kill each other as much as you do consistently. Show me another community that kills black children, their own children in their own community, and each other as consistently as much as you do. You killed children and each other more than any other people I know on the planet Earth. But you out here judging people. Buddy, listen, buddy. Won't you slow down, buddy? Won't you slow down and sit down? Sit down and slow down. You understand? Sit down and slow down. You're talking to a grown man. This is a grown man over here. Sit down and slow down. Okay? Yeah, there you go. See, it's hard to do it because you know what? It takes a man to realize you're in a bad situation. It takes a real woman to realize you in a bad situation. Yeah, see, the truth is, you're not man or woman enough to realize, to accept and acknowledge the real situation you in. That's really what it is. See, you don't really want to hear from a prophet, because a prophet gonna come in and clean house. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. If you notice, you can tell the way I clean and the way I move and dissect things. I'm not, listen, you can't even take it personal. How you gonna take it personal? It's your people, it don't matter. What that got to do? That's irrelevant information. That's irrelevant in this situation. I can say it's my people. I can say it's my people. Listen, buddy, that don't even make sense, man. Let me tell you something, buddy. Listen, you the type of people that look to have problems with people, and I got weapons for people like you. I got weapons for people like you. If you ever want smoke, I always keep weapons for people like you that want a problem for no reason. Listen, buddy, you the type that want you a knucklehead that create problems. A knucklehead, I learned that term here in New York. A knucklehead creates problems. That's how you know, that's how you point them out. They got mental sickness, they got mental hang-ups. They create problems. You can have a completely cool atmosphere. A knucklehead, which is most of these gang stalkers and Freemasons, they knuckleheads. Look at it for what it is. Because they can come into a situation and sabotage the energy, because that's what a knucklehead gonna do. Like a crack baby. They like crack babies. Remember crack babies? It wouldn't matter if I was a pedophile. Your country marrying children. That's how a black man gonna look at it. I wouldn't care if I was. Your country marrying children. You can't stand up on nobody, sucker. I guess you had it confused. Like an ignorant slave would. where you uneducated and you didn't even realize your country was marrying children. When you come to terms with the fact that your country married children, you can't even stand up on a pedophile, even if he was one. That's the real world you live in. That's the real weather. You know what the real weather is in America? You couldn't even stand up on a pedophile anyway. Your country, New York, was marrying children right here in the state of New York. Right here in the state of New York. Y'all was marrying children in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. All 3 decades, y'all was marrying children in the state of New York. You a joke. You a joke to me. You thought, listen, you thought the prophet was going to come a different way with all these nice, sweet things. No, a prophet comes 100, heavy-handed with the truth. Heavy-handed with the truth. And listen, you couldn't be me on your best day. Don't ever say that's us. I stand alone as a prophet. You ain't nothing like me. If you listen, that's the truth. If you was like me, you then show us information that you showed the whole community that nobody else showed them. A prophet is not a collective community. I'm one person. You go to the Bible, a prophet is one person, right? You get what I'm saying? That person does specific things that one person, not a whole bunch of people together, like you. You can't be me. I'm one prophet. I'm here in America correcting these people about things they didn't even know about. Jay-Z didn't know about child marriage laws in America. Jay-Z didn't know y'all was marrying children. Beyonce didn't know y'all was marrying children. And guess what? Kanye West, he didn't know. He didn't know America was marrying children. You name them. Who else you want to name? Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't know y'all was marrying children. Huh? Speak up, suckers. Nobody knew this. So I'm the prophet that comes up on the scene. I'm the only one talking about it. How could you think me and you the same? Witchcraft people. Oh, you supposed to be witchcraft. How come you didn't know your country was marrying children? That's 7 out. All these mind readers and telepaths. Oh, you can read everything. I can't stand people like you. Because when we come into situations like this, you're not credible. Not at all. Well, if you can read minds, how come you didn't read your country? How come you didn't read your country? Your country marrying children, right? How come you didn't know it? You're a psychic, right? You're a mind reader. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. You know why you ain't on this level? Because you're not as high ranking as you think you are. You just got a little bit of stuff going on. You ain't on this. You ain't nowhere near it. They put you in my vicinity to act like you was near it. You near me physically, but you're not near me spiritually. You're not near me intellectually. It's like standing next to Albert Einstein. He is who he is. You are who you are. Just because you standing next to him don't mean you on his level. You ain't on my level. And how we prove it? Besides a biased opinion, we prove it with fruit. Things we produce. You don't produce nothing. And that's that. We don't got split hairs about it. We don't care about no spirituality. Because God, listen, I know more about spirituality than you do. I'm on God's side. I'm supposed to. True, full, wholesome spirituality is when you have information as well. It ain't just spirituality. Real spirituality, high-ranking spirituality, also has high-ranking information. And so if you was high-ranking, as you think you are, you should be able to articulate a high-rank level out of your mouth. And if you can't do that, if you can't say nothing that we ain't never heard before, that ain't never helped, that will help the people, that will empower the people, if you can't say nothing that we ain't never heard before, listen, man, you on a lower level of spirituality. You should know God's people on the top of the food chain. We above you. How you above us? Oh, because you confused me with a religious person that ain't got no spirituality. See, I know the full package, which you wouldn't even pay attention to because you got a fetish for spirituality. The full package of spirituality is to be able to articulate a high rank level of spirituality with information, through information. If you can't do that, if you can't show us your rank with information, you are low level. You half the person you're supposed to be. I talk like a high ranked person. You don't. You know how you talk? You talk like a bum. Ooh. You say you're a witch, right? Why you talk like a bum? You say you got psychic and telepathic power, but then why your mouth talk like bums and niggas? Why you talk like bums and niggas? Because that listen, your spirituality ain't as high as you think it is. Because there's no way that it would not consume your thoughts and your words. It's no way that it wouldn't do it. I can't help it. This is my level. This is how I talk. Just like an animal. A lion sounds like a lion. A tiger sounds like a tiger. I can't sound like a chihuahua. You sound like a chihuahua to me. You sound like niggas, just no different. Talking to people's politics, what's the difference? Exactly. Sound just like niggas. Have you ever heard them? These witchcraft gang stalkers. What they sound like to you? If you from the streets, niggas. That's what they sound like. And I'm right? Okay then. So what you gonna think they are? My point exactly. You gonna think they are what they sound like. You gonna think they are what they sound like they are. Right or wrong? Okay, so if you hear me saying something you ain't never heard, you gonna say, oh, hold up. I ain't never heard about healthy hate. Healthy hate. And that hate is in the Bible. Oh, okay, listen, hold up. I ain't never heard that. See, that's the reaction that you get. That's the reaction that you give from a high-ranking person. Listen, you supposed to say, I ain't never heard that. Oh, no, I ain't never heard that before. Healthy hate. My family didn't even teach me that. Oh, child marriage laws in America, marrying children. My mom and them didn't even tell me that. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Now, in your arrogance, you might not admit that. But see, that's a hang-up. That's a hang-up that you got. You won't admit that I taught you something your daddy didn't teach you. I taught you something your mama and them didn't teach you. I taught you something your auntie didn't teach you. And see, listen. It is what it is, right? Okay, so then if you was the man that you projected, if you was really real, then you would say it. Oh, okay, yeah, my family didn't even tell me nothing about marrying children. I know they didn't. You know how I know? Because by now, if we knew it, we would be talking about it in our culture. We would have talked about it in our culture throughout the years. You would have had people sitting down referencing to it. Why nobody referenced to it? Because nobody didn't know about it. See what I'm saying? So then how can you label me? How can you think you can see me on the same level, me and you on the same level? We not, bro. It's a fantasy, bro. See, now you hear from me what makes a person spiritual. Spirituality and information. Both of them. Not just information, but spirituality. We got spirituality. We got that part. We also have information. They don't. They ain't got no information. And that's what we talking about, buddy. That's what we talking about. See, if you was high ranking, then you would produce information specifically for the situation. I produced information for the situation. Y'all was talking about pedophiles, right? I started talking about child marriage. I started talking about child marriage laws. I produced high-ranking information in the situation, in the exact situation, stuff you can't make up. It wasn't that I was on the subject, it was you. You was on the subject, right? Okay, I just went down my spiritual journey, and God revealed to me what you was doing. No, you don't get it, do you? Then let me say it another way. It would have been different if I started talking about it first. I started talking about child marriage first. It would be different how you realize my rank, right? It would be different with how you realize my rank. You realize I'm high ranking because you picked a topic and I addressed it with high rank information. No, you picked a topic. You was talking about pedophiles, right? Okay, I didn't make you talk about it. You chose to talk about it. No matter what you heard from family, whatever. You chose to be on that topic, right? Okay, I didn't choose the topic. Which means I didn't come in talking about child marriage out of nowhere and then you questioned me later. No, that ain't how it worked. You questioned me first. I got on the topic. God led me to information that nobody knew about, and that's how you know how high ranking I am. Because you picked the topic, and and God showed me in the spirit world what information I needed to address this. Without me knowing about it, I didn't know about it. But God gave me the information. Oh, you talking about animals, having sex with animals? Oh, y'all have sex with animals in 4 states of America. You still having sex with animals in West Virginia by law. They allow people to have sex with animals in West Virginia by law. Oh, what else you talking about? That's what I'm talking about, buddy. I can address anything you talking about. You can't address what I'm talking about while you marrying children and having sex with animals. In Hawaii, they can have sex with animals in Hawaii. Did you know that? Oh, they did all throughout whatever time, how long they had it. The damage is done. They was having sex with animals in Hawaii. Exactly. Crazy. Bugged out. So how you gonna get on anybody talking about pedophilia, bestiality when you marry children and you have sex with animals right now, this year, 2026 in West Virginia? All you need is one state against one case. Who you think win? Oh, you got a whole state that allows people to have sex with animals versus this one case. You don't even know what information you've been told. You don't know the credibility of what you've been told. But we know the credibility of one state having sex with animals. We know the credibility of that, don't we? Well, they don't have no laws against it, which is the law. The smart person knows no law is the law. If I don't have no law against it, that's the law. That's in a low-key way, so I can save face to say, well, we ain't saying you can do it, but you ain't gonna get charged for doing it. See, listen, man, listen. The truth is also, man, some people is just not inclined intellectually to be talking and playing in these levels. That's just it. And it don't matter if you are spiritual or not. I can show you dumb witches with low IQs. And because you have you work witchcraft, you think you got a high IQ, don't you? Well, it doesn't promise a high IQ. Well, being a warlock don't mean you got a high IQ, buddy. Did you figure that out yet? Did you figure that out yet? Did you figure that out yet? You ain't got a high IQ because you decided to work witchcraft, do you? Oh, because you a psychic or a telepath. You now all of a sudden you got a high IQ? Man, stop playing, bro. But I do have a high IQ. I do. And guess what? With you having a low IQ, when you try to read my thoughts, you ain't gonna know what it means. No, you're not. No, you're not. I figured it out. Low IQ people trying to read high IQ people. Ooh. Low IQ people trying to read high IQ people. Low IQ people trying to use psychic and telepathy energy to read high IQ people. Guess what the first problem gonna be? With a smart person, it's like a spider with 7 eyes, right? I got 7 eyes. So you're gonna see all these images. And you ain't gonna know which one is the right one. Or if you see the image, you ain't gonna know what it means. You ain't gonna be able to define it. You ain't gonna be able to define it. And that's the difference. You see stuff, but you don't know what it means. But listen, you're not smart enough to know if you see it don't mean you can define it. Oh, you can't define it because you see it. Because you seen it don't mean you know what it means. Oh, come on, you can't say that. Who can say that? You don't know why I'm thinking that. So you defining it. While you seeing it, you defining it, ain't you? Because you slow. Listen, man, I hate to tell you, bro. You force my hand to tell you you're a little slow. Because listen, I'm smart enough to know exactly what you've been doing. That tells you my IQ. How I just call you on everything you're doing. Because I'm smarter than you. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm saying that in a rank way, putting rank in proper perspective, where these are people that are slower than me in IQ, but you trying to read me. You trying to tell me what I'm thinking. Bro, I'm telling you, listen. You think you know what it is and you don't. I learned from you. You know what I learned from you? I learned low IQ people can try to read a smart person and not know what it means. Which, let me say it clearly. You can read the mind of a smart person and you don't know what it means. And that's the truth, because a smart person's mind is going to be more complex than yours. It's going to be like having 7 eyes, and you know, glory to God. And how you going to see it? That's all it is. That's all it is. So then when I know what it means, and I know you triggering on it, and you thought you knew what it meant, and you trying to trigger on it, I know you couldn't perceive what it really meant, because I know what it meant. See, listen, bro. Listen. I'm going to say this very clearly, and you can take it how you want to take it. Everybody got their gifts in the world. I'm going to tell you like your mama would tell you. Everybody got their gifts. And everybody is not gifted with the same gifts. You have to learn that you're not all that. It's not putting you down. You have to learn. It's better to learn who you are and work your own talents instead of trying to think you everything and work no talents. You haven't come to terms with who you are. See, when you come to terms with who you are, you don't go to try to play basketball when you know you can't play. When you know you ain't got no coordination. When you know you can't dribble the ball without people stealing it. When you can't cross over or put the ball through your legs, you can't do none of that with coordination. So why are you gonna go try to play basketball? You got people that's like that. You ever met a kid like that? You know they can't play basketball, but they talking about, yeah, I'm going out for basketball. You know this person can't play basketball. Oh, I'm going out for football. You know he can't play. He too small to play. But what you doing? You still endorsing it? Yeah, that's good. That's good. No, that ain't good. You need to tell them the truth. That ain't your lane. That ain't your lane, bruh. Y'all raise kids, having them go out for football, man, and you know that ain't their lane. They too little to play football. So you have to learn to be who you are, right? And that applies in intelligence. Some people got it all, and some people don't. Just like physically, black men are more endowed than most men, right? Sexually. A black man has a big penis, right? No, listen. We all grown people. We all grown, right? Without really knowing it for sure, on the average, a black man has a bigger penis than everybody else, right? I mean, we can kind of say that's for sure, right? The average black guy probably got a bigger penis than the average other guy, right? Right. Okay. So, am I being cruel by pointing that out, or is it just what it is? It's just what it is. Some people are endowed in different areas. You got some people that's endowed sexually. Okay, so then explain why this other guy is not endowed. Why he doesn't have a big penis. And so then what you gonna do? Apologize for having a big penis all your life? Well, I'm sorry, my penis is bigger than yours. I know you can't halfway please your wife with that. I mean, what you want me to say? But it is what it is, right? It's the same thing. What black people need to hear is you're endowed sexually, but there's other people that's endowed mentally more than you. You don't want to hear that, do you? How can I prove that? I look around. I look around who's producing things. Who's producing things? Asian people. Asian people are smarter than black and white people. I'm talking about as far as IQ. On the average Asian person is smarter than you. Just like you more endowed than the average Asian guy. The Asian guy probably don't have a bigger penis than you. But he's more endowed than you intellectually. Nah, you don't want to hear that, do you? You don't want to hear that. But see, because you've been told you had it all. Ain't nobody got it all, bruh. That's what I'm trying to show you. So when you play with me, and I'm part Asian, I'm part Filipino, which means my ancestors were Chinese. I'm part Chinese. You didn't know that, did you? I'm way smarter than half of y'all. I know that for sure, because I know what you're trying to do, and I see what you're trying to do. But it ain't working, because I'm smarter than you. I can see everything you're doing. All you're doing is playing yourself. You know what I'm saying? And how I feel I was humble about it, because I didn't expose you as much as I could have. I could have exposed everything you was doing in this whole building. I could have talked about that all this whole time. This whole building is an enemy. I already know that. Everybody in here. That's why I don't talk to nobody. Why do you think if I know they enemies, and I know they're here for the wrong reason, to try to fight my mind and fight me who I am spiritually, why would I talk to somebody? Why would I engage these people? That's not being slow, that's being smart. But you so used to frenemies and people that act like they friends and enemies at the same time, you thought I was going to do the same thing, and I didn't. You thought I was going to politic and halfway have a couple friends here and steal a couple friends there, and I didn't choose to go that way. See, some people would engage this and try to win people on their side and all that kind of. I ain't doing none of that. I ain't know. Go ahead, form your opinion. And guess what? God is on my side. And see, that's where it gets real, real bad. Because before that, I was talking about all the limitations and strengths of a man and human beings. Can you imagine God coming into this situation? With that being said, see how that hit right there? God is supreme, buddy. The supreme almighty. When he come into this situation and see all that has been done, it's over. God is in this situation. Y'all put yourself in that situation, and that's all it is. So I'm more endowed than you mentally. You might be more endowed than me sexually. You might have a bigger penis than me. But I got a bigger mind than you got. And I know that. See, it's a double-edged sword. I acknowledge that some black people got bigger penis than the rest of us, right? But the Asians are the ones that's the smartest. They the smartest race of people. Yeah, man, like on the average situation. We know that, man. We know that. Asian people are smarter than us. And so when you find people that are like not totally like you, and I tell you my ancestors are Chinese, because the Filipinos, their ancestors was from South China, and then they went to Taiwan, and then they went to the Philippines. So from South China to Taiwan to the Philippines. That's what the Filipino ancestors did. And one of the greatest Filipino warriors is Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu. See, I went and educated myself, man. You know, and so I don't know what to say. You know, people got one life to live. You come out here and play in the field. That's your life you lived. That's how you lived. We can't make you live 2 and 3, 4, 5 different lives. You know what I'm saying? You lived one life playing out here, and some people die for that, just for that. You should be glad you're still alive. So you see what I'm saying? See the arrogance of the people. You should be glad you're even alive right now. You don't look at it that way, because that's how arrogant you are. That's how much y'all do in this community where y'all play around so much. You should be glad you're alive right now. I am more endowed than you intellectually. Am I the smartest man in the world? I don't claim to be the smartest man in the world. But if I one up on you consistently over and over again, I think I'm smarter than you. If I one up on you over and over and over again, I think I am smarter than you. I don't think it's a figment of my imagination. Because it's too consistent. I one up on you over and over again. I call you on everything you're doing. You can't call me on everything I'm doing. No, you can't. Well, if you could, then why would you sit back and watch us do this to you? Because you wasn't smart enough to see it. That's all. Whether it was by spiritual means, whether it was by whatever, you just wasn't able to see what we was doing. Whatever we was doing, you wasn't able to see it. What else you want me to say? What else you want me to say about it? That's all we can say, bro. Like, see, I realized I went and did my DNA, and I realized I'm Filipino, South Asian. I'm part Indian. I'm part Latino, Peruvian. I found out I'm part English, which is the real American ancestors. The real ancestors of America is English. I'm part English too. I'm South Italian. I'm part South Italian and Greek. See, I didn't know all of that. And I'm Balkan. Balkan is possibly got the ancestors of the Vikings. So I could possibly be, because the Vikings was in the Balkan area. You know, so you got to do your in-depth research on the Balkans, because they were in the area with the Vikings, you know. So, but the bottom line is, man, you know, I got South Italian and Greek bloodlines and everything, and see, in America, only in America, they teach this. If you got a lot of bloodlines, you a mutt. A mutt. Okay, in the human kingdom, if you have a lot of bloodlines in spirituality, I got more spirituality than you got. Well, that's common sense. According to ancestors. Okay, if I got more ancestors than you, how I'm not more powerful than you? If I got Latino ancestors, English ancestors, South Asian, Filipino, which is Chinese ancestors. If I got all these ancestors, 4 different types of African, I'm 4 different types of African. Everybody's not 4 different types of African. I am 4 different types of African. Some people have parents that are the same tribe for whatever reason. They just 2 Nigerian parents. They basically Nigerian. I got 4 different types of African that I am. You didn't know that, did you? You couldn't have known that. Which means, as far as my ancestors go, as far as Africans, it's 4 different tribes of African you got to deal with. That part. Okay? And so, only in America do they talk about human beings as a mutt, because you got different bloodlines. That makes you more powerful in the human kingdom, because you got more ancestors. A spiritual person understands that clearly. Okay, if you got more ancestors from different bloodlines, how am I not more spiritual than you? It's what it is. You're going to have more spiritual inheritance. On God's side, how we put it is, you're going to have more spiritual inheritance. You're going to have all these different bloodlines, and some of them had to be service to God. So you're going to get more spiritual inheritance from all these different bloodlines for what God promised all these different bloodlines. So if you got multiple bloodlines, God ain't going to say, well, I'm going to just count one bloodline where blessings come from. But I promised all these other bloodlines. You're going to get blessings from all the bloodlines. God ain't going to just count one. See what I'm talking about? If he promised your ancestors from 4 different bloodlines, you're going to get blessings from all them bloodlines. See, now we talking about in-depth spirituality. Because God, we know in the Bible, it's biblical, God promises an ancestor that his seed or her seed is going to be blessed, right? Right. You know where I'm going with this, right? Okay, so if you have more than one ancestor, you see where I'm going with this? You have all these bloodlines. All of that is going to come to your life. So the most spiritual people are the people with the most bloodlines. So the whole mutt idea comes from white supremacy almost, where he was already breeding us. So he seen us like dogs. So when you wasn't a full-bred dog, he treated you, because he was breeding you like dogs, he called you a mutt. So let's settle it. People with multiple bloodlines are not weak like a mutt. That's how they make you. No, actually, you're strong. You're stronger because you got more bloodlines. If I got more bloodlines, how am I not more stronger than you? That's common sense, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Now you see how the prophet sees everything differently. You know what I'm saying? People walking around here esteeming you as weaker. How I'm weaker and I got more bloodlines than you got? Make it make sense, bro. Make it make, because that's what it's all about, right? I mean, well, you being multiracial is about bloodlines. Okay, so if I got more bloodlines, more is going to be better in this case, right? Well, I think so. See, the only reason they appear weak by the time you see these people that you esteem as much is because you done mistreated them so bad. You done mistreated them through high school and everything because they was prettier than you. They had better features than you. You liked their nose over yours. You felt your nose was bigger than theirs. They had a nice narrow nose, and they had nice lips and nice complexion and nice hair, and you hated them for that. So by the time they got out of school, listen, they was badgered and everything, and they appeared weak because of that. Oh, I can explain it intelligently. Half of these people that that's multiracial in America that comes from the black community, most of them appear to be much or weak because you beat them up so bad through school. And some of them don't come out on the other side. Some of them come out battered and beaten and think about it. They got mistreated as a child. How you think that's going to affect the person? They're going to appear to be weak and frail, you know what I mean? But like I like to say, you got three types of light-skinned people from the South. You got normal light-skinned people. You got weak white light-skinned people because they've been mistreated. And you got crazy light-skinned people. If you're from the South, you know about crazy light-skinned people. Where you think you're going to try this high yellow female and she more crazier than you. You ain't finna try her. Because she done been through so much that she done became crazy. That's what happened. See, it's some light-skinned people that become crazy. Oh, you figure it out real quick. You figure out the difference in the turn-up than yours. Listen, why you think they became like that? Because they've been so used to being challenged. They became crazy. Not in a mental way. You can't try them. Nope. And you think it's fake if you want to. Think it's fake if you want to, because where I come from, you got three types of light-skinned people. Normal light-skinned people, broken and weak light-skinned people, like most people think it is. Most of these Africans think it's like that. And you got crazy light-skinned people. Oh, yeah. I don't know about up here in New York. I don't know. This ain't my culture. But down south, that's how it is. She become ratchet, ghetto, like everybody else. And matter of fact, she worse. You see some light-skinned girls, they way more ratchet. Because they go through more than you go through. They get challenged all the time because they pretty. People want to put them to the test. Think about it. Somebody keep putting you to the test, you're going to become an animal. That's why some of them light-skinned girls like that. It ain't because they crazy, because they've been put to the test and they ain't been transparent about it. They ain't going to tell you about it. They ain't going to tell you all they went through in high school, all them girls hating on them. Think about it. All kind of crazy stuff they went through. You know how females are anyway. All kind of crazy stuff. They became animals. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. I explained it intelligently. You got a lot of light-skinned people crazy out here. Okay, you try them if you want to. Not realizing their history, not realizing they've been challenged over and over again. Okay, so what kind of person you think that's going to become? They're going to become crazy, bro. Like, it's a lot of people like that, man. That's why, me personally, I don't try nobody. I don't challenge nobody unless you play with me. If you play with me, I'm playing with you. That's basically how it is. See, white people don't know about this. They don't know about light skin versus dark skin and how that's been an ongoing situation and an ongoing struggle. It has. Light skinned people, dark skinned people, white people can't talk about that intelligently. That's why I don't feel like they should be in our affairs. You should not be in our affairs if you can't talk about these politics intelligently. Why? For what? Oh, real recognize real. Okay, so then why real people is falling out with other real people? If real recognize real, and that's a staple we go by in our community, then why do real always wind up falling out with real people? I see it all the time. Real fall out with real in your own family. Why you? If real recognize real, why y'all fall out with each other then? Well, if you recognize each other and the rules and regulations thereof, then why you falling out with each other? Because that's not enough. It's not enough for real recognize real. It's not enough. It's, in other words, human beings are more complex than just real recognize real. That's safe to say. Safe to say, you can't just come see me and think you can see me and on real recognize real. That ain't gonna work. Nope. Because guess what? Real recognize real. That's right. Right? But if you're not spiritual, how you gonna see spiritual? If you're not educated, how you gonna see what I'm saying? How you gonna go the full distance? If you're not educated, everything like that, you're gonna look like a fool. You're gonna play yourself. And then you know what you're gonna do? In your arrogance, you're gonna still think you're on my level. Why? Because you're real? That don't mean nothing. You could be dumb and real. You know how many dumb dudes is real? Oh, I can show you 1 million right here in New York. Strong. Dumb as a bag of rocks. But they'll do a 211, you know what I'm saying? They'll go do a 211 at the drop of a hat. You know, but dumb as they come. Dumb as they come, bruh. So, what would real recognize in me in that context? This dumb dude that's real. This dumb dude or this dumb woman that's real, how they gonna see me? So real don't recognize everything. That's how you need to be told. Real recognize real, but real don't recognize everything. Well, you will be at the top of the world if real recognized everything. Real don't recognize everything, buddy. Okay, so then boom. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Listen, man. Listen. I'm glad to stay in my lane. You know what my lane is? Smart and spiritual. Smart and spiritual, buddy. That's my lane. Smart and spiritual and educated. I'm glad. I love staying in my lane. You ain't got to tell me twice. My lane is smart and spiritual and educated. I love education. Some people ain't use the internet the proper way. You ain't never used the proper way your whole life. You're supposed to educate yourself with the internet. The internet, you could say they didn't even have the idea of entertainment like social media. That was a spinoff from the internet. And now people think that's all the internet's supposed to be. The internet was just where you could get basically all the information, the education highway, where you educate yourself. Okay, that's really what it's supposed to be. Not no social media platform. Look how Americans are. You're so confused. You think the internet is for social media, for videos, for video. For a video. You think the internet is for a video, don't you? The internet for a video, ain't it? The internet is for you're supposed to educate yourself and reference in here and reference there, like the library. That's how it's supposed to be. Now you see what I'm saying? Like you at the library, you can research this, research. That's how the internet's supposed to be. That's how you properly use the internet. And some people ain't never done that a day in their life. They ain't never done that. Because before videos, what was you looking at? Nothing but the information. Before social media, what was the internet? Information, that's it. Before videos, before dating apps, before social media, what was the internet? Nothing but information and education. That's all it was. That's all it was. That was the origin of the internet. But what many people don't know is the internet itself foundationally been out since the what, 70s, 60s? The internet been out since the 60s or the 70s. You can go look it up. Go look it up. The internet, how it started. The internet was out like what we know as far as the email, giving emails from place to place. That's been like that by computer since the what, late 60s, 70s, somewhere around in there. But by the 80s, you had the internet already. So through the whole 80s, when we was out partying, cooking out, drinking and all of that, partying, they had the internet. These authorities had the internet the whole 80s, the whole 90s. They was ahead of us they ahead of us right now. Common sense tell you if they had the internet in the 80s, they had the internet in the 80s. They had the internet in the 90s. Okay, so then that tells you with that pattern that they got stuff that they using that's on a whole nother level that we don't even know about. AI is all that now. But AI is doing more than just these references to information that you find it to be used for on the internet, like for Google and all of that, and to make your videos or whatever you use it for. They using AI for everything, man, including psychological war, including warfare. They using AI for warfare. You know, and don't forget about CERN, the machine CERN, and don't forget about HAARP, the artificial HAARP, HAARP, that they say can make synthetic weather and synthetic storms and all of that. You got HAARP, CERN, and all of that. But AI is just on a whole nother level, man. You know, if you're smart, you already see the whole possibilities of it. It's just going to affect every part of life. That's basically it. Including warfare, including everything. It's going to affect every part of life. That's why everybody using it. Like, basically, it's almost like the new invention for right now. Basically. And we done heard about it so much off and on, we ain't really, we kind of tuned it out. You done heard about AI, artificial intelligence, for years and years and years and years. They've been talking about it for years. Finally, they got into a place where it makes sense on a day-to-day basis and in the government. It's on that level now. You know, so, you know, it's basically being incorporated into our community. But, you know, they just treated it like 10, 15 years ago. I remember hearing about AI like, I think in the 90s. As far back as the 90s, I might have heard about AI. And, you know, it was at its infant stages then. But so by the time it becomes something, we done heard about it so much, it goes in one ear and out the other. You know, like many things in this country. But they got technology that's not on the market. That's what you need to realize. Like everything we got, even these phones, agents use these type of touchscreen phones. They had them. These agents had these phones when they was doing operations. Think about it. If I can touch this phone and I don't gotta be messing around with it and going up and down with it, and I can just get precisely to what I need to get to instead of let me scroll down here and then let me do this and let me touch there. These phones were used by, I believe, by agents, you know, and they got all the stuff we use. Once they give it to us, that means they done so much with it. We don't know what they've been doing with this stuff. But what you need to think about the world in terms of is you got spies against spies. That's like spy versus spy. That's basically what it is. America is using spies too. There's no country that is not actively using spies. Okay? America use spies too. They have to. Every country has to. How you gonna know what other countries are doing? How you gonna know? They could be living in a whole different lane over here. Literally, bro. And that's how you realize it. Okay, they could be living in a whole different lane over here. You think you see this stuff on TV, then you go over there, literally, it's like a whole different party and lane and everything. So they have to send spies out to the country. There's spies in America right now. Ain't nothing they can do about it. It's just who gets caught and who doesn't. That's the game. With the spy game, that's something that's really not talked about enough, because that's how it all starts. Spying on each other, gathering intelligence and information, and using that to your advantage. And you can't stop it because it's human beings. I mean, the only way you can stop it is you catch them. That's it. But if they're good at what they do, it's a person that comes here to this country. You can't say, well, you seem like a spy. You can't treat people like that. That's the rules. See, there's rules in life. In the rules in America, in the world, it's all about don't get caught. Don't get caught being a spy. That's the whole rules that everybody understands. That's the whole game. The rules and regulations is don't get caught being a spy. It's spies, they don't get caught all the time. They collect all kind of information about America. And vice versa. America collect all kind of information about all these countries. They have to. That's how it works. How else you gonna know for sure what's going on? And until you have people on ground level that say, I seen it for myself. That never plays out. As opposed to, well, I seen it on the internet. We don't really know how true that is, right? And then we don't know the geographics of what's going on. You know what I mean? The infrastructure of things, the logistics of things, better to say. You got to go see the logistics of things. And that's never going to play out. A human spy is never going to play out. But then again, here's the punchline. You might have AI spies, artificial intelligence spies, AI spies. AI spies. That's crazy. See, eventually that's what's probably going to happen. Spies that's AI. They go in, collect all kind of information. And see, that's what's going to happen basically on the internet. Basically, you're going to have AI spies that collect information from other countries. Think about it. You could easily make an AI spy that find all information and scan all the information of America and find out everything they need to know. How can they stop it? They have to hold some information top secret, but against another computer, good luck with that, because a computer can sit up and break codes and fight to break codes. So if it's a matter of code breaking, a computer can just be put in place and just scan all these different code possibilities over and over until they break the code. They can sit there for days and just keep putting in, but it'll be obviously detected. See, that's the catch. The catch is to not be found trying to go into these different things. But you can see Iran already went into FBI. I'm on Iran's side. I mean, because how I feel is, man, I'm a black man in America, and that's never gonna change. And my perspective from that becomes, I don't really trust these Americans because my ancestors went through what they went through. See, for me, my grandmother was raped by a white man. I had a grandmother that was raped by a white man, right? So then I'm going to see America differently than you. That's why everybody have to go through their own experience. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that back. You can't make up for it. It's going to form my opinion in different ways. You know, and that's just the trickiness of America. You could talk to one black person. You could talk to another black person. You can get two different perspectives on America. You can get two different worldviews on what this is. That's how aware you got to be. You can't assume that we all have the same experience. We don't. And ain't nothing you can do about this person over here that feels however they feel because of what they went through. You can't change how they feel. You can't. It's what it is. You can't change how that person feel, bro. No, you can't. That person feel the way they feel for a certain reason. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, my grandmother, one of my grandmothers was raped in slavery. That's what make it worse. I know the history of my family. My grandmother was raped in slavery, man. So how you going? So how? See, I'm gonna be a vengeful and descendant. That's what I'm gonna be. No, I'm. You know what I mean, though. I have the potential to be a resentful descendant of America, just based off that, bro. So then imagine you talking to me about sexual deviance and my grandmother was raped by the Americans. That's how you need to hear it, man. I'm gonna be. That's my life. That's my bloodline, not yours. So then you got some Negroes that's gonna be cool. You got some black people that's gonna be cool with this country because they ain't got a bad experience. Then you go talk to somebody over here, and they got roughed up by the cops, all their life. You got them type of people. Same cops in the same area roughed this person up. They hated the cops. The government was watching them, whatever. You got to talk to each person. And you can't be simple-minded and assume anything. I don't assume nothing. I don't assume that. That's why I stay out of trouble. You know how? I don't assume anything. That's the way you read. You want me to tell you how to read situations and read people? Don't assume nothing. Literally, you know how hard that is? You know how much discipline it takes to assume nothing? But that's what you're supposed to do. That's the best way to read people. But it's hard. It takes discipline. It takes discipline to sit back. Okay, I ain't gonna form no opinion. But whatever that person gives to me, as far as their actions and their words, that's what they are. So that's what I do. You know how I read people? Whatever your actions are, whatever you've done, that's who you are. That's what it is. Now, if you was a child, I ain't gonna form my opinion on you as a child. A human being is only two entities in this whole lifespan: a child and an adult. Those are two different entities. A child is nothing like an adult. You are actually two different creatures. When you're a child, you ain't an adult. You don't think like an adult. Your body isn't built like an adult. You don't even have the same penis size. Nothing about you. Think about it. If you don't even got the same penis size, how are you the same creature? That's not the same creature. You didn't look at it that way, did you? A person, a human being. That's amazing when you think about it. A human being is two creatures in its lifetime. A human being is two creatures in its lifetime, and as a child and an adult. And it's literally night and day difference, and we all know that. You didn't look at it like two creatures in one. And sometimes the creature you was as a child would try to haunt you as an adult. You know what I'm saying? If you grew up selling drugs or whatever, a lot of different stuff. But I don't judge people on who they was as a child. You was a whole different creature. But when you are a man, I'm gonna judge you if you marrying children. In the country, you're a grown man. You marrying children? Sorry. Me and you don't see eye to eye about things, I guess. You come out here talking about what you talking about with kids, and I see you marrying children. Me and you got two different type of reasonings, man. We reason differently. And I've already said this before. White America and black America reasons differently. You need to go study the whole subject of reasoning. Reasoning. Real can recognize real, but we still can reason differently about everything. That's how we fall out with each other. Because I could be real and you could be real, but you think you can come out here for children without charges, and I'm real and I don't think you can. I don't see how you can. And you could be real all day, but me and you have two different types of reasoning, and my reasoning is going to be better than yours. See, it comes down to, with your opponents, whose reasoning is better. My reasoning is better than yours. If you don't got no charges, that reasoning is better than whatever you talking about. If you don't got no charges, you'll see this person doing nothing. Everybody's going to follow behind my reasoning. That's it. It don't matter if I was right or wrong. You don't have no charges. That's the reasoning of most of us. Okay, now anybody else that reasons differently, listen, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. You reason differently than us. How we reason, with all these people literally doing stuff, that's what we looking at. If this person isn't categorized with people that's doing stuff out here to real children, then listen, bro, you splitting hairs beyond what we choose to split hairs about. We don't split hairs like that. I don't split hairs to the point where you're not doing anything, but I think you are something. I think you are a pedophile, but you're not doing anything. I don't split hairs like that, buddy. You know why? Because I stay in the real earth realm. I'm in the earth realm. In the earth realm, we care about what people are doing physically to the kids. We don't care about whatever else, because that's not bringing any harm. No kids are changed. No kids get changed at all from non-activity, physical activity. Those kids get up, they go to school, they brush their teeth, they go to school. Nothing happens to the child. But when you start interacting with the child, marrying the children, then we're talking about a problem with the actual child itself. But if it doesn't have a problem, if it doesn't bring a problem to the actual children itself, that's beyond my reason. I don't reason like that. You see what I'm saying? And see, that's going to triumph over everybody else, because humans going to reason like that. So you become aliens outside of humanity. And they're going to reason more closer to how I reason. I guarantee you, more than one time, people have told you the same thing I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how people going to reason. It's not even hard in this situation. You know, we going to reason like reality. That's it. And whether you like it or not, I can show you a lot of things that I don't like, but I can do nothing about it. See, that's how we know you don't really live in the real world. When you live in the real world, what you're going to realize is there's things you can do nothing about. There's injustices in life, especially black people. We going to realize we the ones more than anybody that realize there's some things in life you can't do nothing about it. It's what it is. It went to a certain place, and you ain't going to be able to ever change it. You ain't going to be able to ever do nothing effectively about it. And it's life. It's life. It's nothing you can do. See, it's that type of understanding that you have to apply to the real world we live in. Clowns don't understand this, and they come out here and get smashed. You know what I'm saying? Because you think you try to make people suffer for something that you can't make people suffer for. You can't make me suffer for something that you can't prove. You can't make people suffer for stuff you can't prove. And when you play that game, God gonna step in and do something to you. Because there's too many other things we consider, like the real world and things going on in the real world, and you couldn't prove nothing in the real world. So then it's subject only to your mind and intellect, and it means it brings no harm to children, and that's the bottom line. How we weigh things and what we care about and value is, do this bring harm to children? Physically, is this person bringing physical harm to children? No. Then that's how we value what we care about and what we talk about. I'm not going to talk about something that doesn't physically bring harm to no children or other people. See, you got to know how to play the game, sucker, and you don't. You don't know how to play. You came out here wild and nobody honored the game you were playing. See, the reason why you got to know how to play the game is because people have to honor the game you play. If nobody honors the game you play, you're going to be in trouble. Like you are now. Nobody honors that. They honor the game I play. You know why? Because they relate to it as humanity. See, all you got to do is play by the rules and regulations. If you came out here and played with my life, everybody relate to that. Point blank, period. They're going to reason the way I reason. They're going to feel like it's them. They're going to relate to it as if they going through it. Now, they ain't going to relate to you as they going through it with you, because it ain't nothing to go through. You see what I'm saying? And that's the punchline. We talking about reality over here, and what you talking about over there? That you could prove that's in reality. Nobody has no relation point. We don't have nothing to relate to. Now, when they talk to me, there's a relation point in reality. that we've seen over and over again, what black people been played with over and over again. And here we are again, where basically that's all we got is this black guy being played with. And that's what people gonna look at it like. We gonna look at it just like that. And so it becomes a discrimination situation. And you can talk about children, you can talk about toddlers and infants and whatever, teenagers and preteens and everything in between. We don't care if you don't have no charges. Okay? That's the real world you live in. And it's never going to change. See, you the type of clown that play and think you're going to play this innovative game and it's going to catch on. That ain't going to never catch on, sucker. Not a game where you ain't got no charges. Not a game where it's not reality, what you talking about. Not a game where you ain't got no traces in reality of this person behaving and doing what you said they was doing. You ain't got no reality of that. It's no way that's going to catch on, buddy. It's another bad invention. It's another bad invention, buddy. Something you invented. It happens all the time. You keep playing with this same bad invention that nobody acknowledges and respect. And we don't find an asset to our community. So then people begin to relate to me. That's what happens. They begin to relate to me and hate you. Because you realize that all humanity is flawed. Anyway, we all flawed, right? So they begin to realize their own flaws and say, okay, I kind of relate to the prophet. Because I'm not a pedophile, but I'm not perfect either. I'm not a pedophile, but I'm not perfect. So my brain is not perfect, right? Even though I wouldn't do nothing to children, I'm not perfect in my brain. So guess what? Guess what people start doing? They start relating to me and hate you. Because you begin to remind them of old white America, who always thought they was better than black people anyway. They begin to, how else you begin to look at it? These police and all these authorities, you begin to look at it like they think they better than us. Like they don't have no bad thoughts in their mind. You know what I'm saying? You start despising them people, bruh. Cause you know they do, cause they human. But they always thought that they was still better than us, even though they was human. You see what I'm talking about? That's a pig, man. That's a pig. Somebody that can think they better than you and just as dirty as you. I ain't never been that type of person. Because I admit my flaws. That's first and foremost. First and foremost, the first thing I tell you is a good Christian realize they ain't perfect. That's why you come to Jesus. The Christian, an excellent Christian, comes to Jesus because they realize they not perfect. The person that think they perfect don't come to Jesus because you think you got it all together. You think, oh, I'm a pretty decent person. God gonna look out for me. Oh, really? Really? He gonna look out for you. He gonna look out for you. See, the excellent Christian realize I'm not perfect. So it's ironic that you would think a Christian is a goody two shoes. The average Christian is the person that realizes I'm flawed. I can't do this without Jesus. I can't stop drinking and I can't stop smoking. I can't stop doing nothing without Jesus. Because even though I can stop, I don't feel no reason to stop. Without Jesus, without God, I don't feel no reason to stop this stuff. But then when I realize God is real, okay, I realize I need help. I realize I want to get to heaven. I realize this stuff I'm doing, it could cause me problems. I almost died before in my life. See, that's why I'm a different animal. See, you didn't realize I came back as a different animal when I almost died. I almost died before. I was in the hospital fighting for my life. I could have died. And that's the bottom line. I couldn't even help myself. When you're in a situation when you when you're in the hospital and you can't help yourself, you're in trouble. So I've already been at death's door before. That's why I try to tell these lames, I'm not no wet behind the ears little boy. I done been laid up in the hospital almost dead. And if you the type of retarded person that sit up and want to ignore that type of information, you retarded to me, bro. You a retarded kind of person. And that's basically what it is. And I don't have no compassion for people like you, because to me, you don't live in the real world. So I already done been through death. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them people. Some people haven't. Some people haven't. They ain't got no places where they said, oh, well, you almost died. They almost died. I almost died. The doctor told me, you almost died. In my paperwork, it said this nearly took your life. You know how you get the paperwork when you get discharged, and they tell you what happened in the summary of what happened. They said I basically almost lost my life. You know, so that was like 6 years ago. That happened 6 years ago. You know, so I don't have the same approach to life as these happy-go-lucky idiots and punks around here. I'm more bold. I'm more ferocious. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm just that's what it is. You know, that's what happens to people that go through these life and death type of situations. If you look at it, whoever it is, your favorite rapper, once he gets shot up or he go through death, he come back like an animal. I'm the same way. And people just were so corny. You know how corny these people are, man. Come on, let's be real. Half of them gay. Come on, they corny, bro. So when I went through that, they didn't even register like the way it's supposed to, that I was gonna come back as an animal. And that's what happened. That's what happened. It's been on ever since. You know what I'm saying? So that's my story. You know what I'm saying? That's not yours. You didn't go through it. You know, you got people that's got hang-ups about stuff, about other people's story, because theirs is better than yours. And I don't know, man. I mean, I don't talk to people I don't take seriously. That's just it. You know, it's not a matter of being better than somebody. I mean, I can find people that's from the hood, and I take you seriously. You dead broke, and I take you seriously. But I can find people that got money, and I don't take seriously. So it's not a matter of money. It really ain't, or the lack thereof. It's a matter of your mentality, man. If you broke, you could be the wisest person in the world, and I'm gonna perceive that about you. I ain't gonna think, oh, he broke, I ain't finna listen to him. Or even if he started talking, I'm like, but he broke. Nah, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna perceive your value without money. And some people, they want you to perceive their value with money, based on money. That's why they get all these things out here, because they really don't have no value besides things, besides items and things. So they try to show you everything they got. You know, I got this, I got that. But who are you as a person? The true test of a man is to take everything from him and put him in the wilderness, and then you see who he is. I can show you my worth. I can show you my worth in the wilderness. Right? With nothing. The true test of a man, the true value, the test of the true value of a man is to take everything from him and see who he is. See, you ain't been through that. Take everything. And that means you had it before, like I did. Like I had my child. My child that came out of my body. Taken from me. My apartments, my driver's license. I drive cars. I'm not one of these people that ain't got their head on the swivel and got their brain on the swivel. They can't drive cars. But then they question you whether you're retarded or not, but they can't drive a car. I can show you your auntie or your uncle or your family, especially in black families. You got somebody in your family that can't drive a car. How you think I know? Because I'm black. You got somebody right now in your family ain't never drove a car. Do you look at them like they retarded? Or you don't? You don't. You got people in your family right now ain't never drove a car. Do you esteem them as retarded? I drive cars. They don't. I can show you people in your family right now that don't drive no car and been catching the bus their whole life. Everything they did, they called the bus. They ain't never drove a car. Ain't never had a driver's license. And do you esteem them as retarded in your family? No, you don't. No, you don't. So, that's why, you overlook your family, but you come out here trying to judge other people, man. That's how I look at it, man. You know what I'm saying? I can show you people in your family that will be esteemed by other people that's retarded. Because they ain't never drove a car. How you ain't never drove a car? Come on now. But do you esteem them as retarded? No. You can tell they still smart. You can tell they still intelligent. You can tell they reason good and properly and to a certain degree. But for whatever reason, they ain't driving a car. They don't live too long to not drive a car. Some people don't live too long to not be driving, right? But how are we gonna look at it? You choose to be positive, don't you? So I can show you people in your own family that you choose to be positive with. But when it come to other people, you got all the judgment. I can show you people that look retarded to your family. And we also got those black people in our family that talk slow. Oh, don't act like you don't know. If you got family down south, they take 3 seconds to answer a question. What we gonna eat today? Well, some people can say, spit it out, man. Well, spit it out. Do you judge that? No, you don't. You don't sit up and say somebody that talks slow or and the young black people that stand around and look slow. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Did you just be standing around looking? How you doing? I'm all right. Do you ever say that person in your family down south is retarded? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Where you could just look at them and think they're retarded. They got 5 foreheads. They got a quarter pounder on their forehead. Their forehead is a quarter pounder. They got a quarter pounder for a forehead, don't they? You ain't never thought one day in this life that he kind of retarded. He look like he might be retarded because he got a big forehead. Man, he got a quarter pounder for a forehead, bruh. Got the cheese, got the lettuce on there, got the secret sauce on there, got the secret sauce. He got the secret sauce on that forehead, don't he? No, McDonald's got the secret sauce, right? He got the secret sauce on that quarter pounder, don't he? But you do not question whether he retarded, do you? See, listen, man. No, you don't think it matters. But how many times that we be judging black people talking about they look retarded, and we got all kind of people in our family that look just like them? Man, you got people in your family that look just like me, and I got people in your family that look just like you. Oh, I know, because I'm black. I know that. I'm not saying I look crazy or retarded, but I'm just saying, I got somebody, y'all got people in your family look just like me. Your cousins now. So that's why, man, I mean, when people sit back, I know not to take you seriously, bro. Because I know you got somebody in your family that look like me. Or I got somebody in my family that look like you. And if it ain't that situation, I can show you people in your family that don't drive no cars. And we don't judge them. They catch the bus everywhere. Oh, and that's outside of African American. That's other tribes of African. They don't go. They ain't got no cars, do they? How many of your aunties don't have no cars? Do you say they retarded? Why she can't drive a car then? You ever thought about that? How hard is it? It's just she not built for it. Let's keep it 100. Then what would that say? You see what I'm saying? So that's okay. That's okay, bro. I just want you to pay attention, though. Pay attention to your own family. Next time you try, that's what that's what you're supposed to do. Look at your own family first. That's all you got to do. Everything you're talking about is in the family. So, that's proper ways of reasoning. That's why I want to do a whole study on this. Reasoning. Reason properly. Reason properly, man. It's just like some people don't reason right. White people don't reason like I do. No, they don't. Well, how we know? If you marrying children in America, how you gonna be out here talking about a pedophile, bro? How you gonna be out here talking about a pedophile and you marrying children? You don't reason like I do you? You know how I reason as a black man? If you out here marrying children, how you gonna talk about a pedophile? That's how I reason. That's what reasoning is. It's taking information. It's how you process information and define information. It's the art. It's the art of how you define information and understand information. If I understand you marrying children and I define you as that, right, as a community, how can you come out here talking about a pedophile? That's my reasoning. That's how I process this information. Obviously, you didn't do the same thing as Americans. Well, no. You still can be out here talking about a pedophile after marrying children. You don't reason quite like I do. And see, that's the difference of how we reason. We can understand information. We all can be smart, but the defining factor is how we reason. How do you reason? This is why we got Democrats and Republicans. Both are smart, right? You can't say Republicans are smarter than Democrats or Democrats are smarter than Republicans. They both are educated. Some of them go to the same schools. But what is the difference in how they reason? So we both can be intelligent, but you reason differently than I do. You see what I'm saying? And black people gonna reason based on their culture, where they come from, and things like that. And if you been incriminating black people all this time, and you ain't have charges, and you've been locking people up, and we find out they was innocent after 20 years of being in prison, then we're gonna reason that if you don't have any charges, how are you gonna be playing with this person and you ain't got no charges? That's how black people gonna reason. White people is just gonna, how do I put this? As far as this go, the same context, they just come out here thinking they getting the bad guys. That's why you can't get them started. They think they getting the bad guys. That's how they reason. We look at our history of black people being locked up for 15 years, and then you find out he ain't even do it. Hold up, this dude was locked up for 20 years? That's unforgivable. And then he just get out and he get like $1 million. That's nothing. You lost 20 Christmases. You lost 20 Thanksgivings. You lost all this time with your family. Can you imagine being that guy? You in prison. You in prison. And you know for sure you ain't do it. You know, like now you questioning yourself, like, did you sleepwalk or you gonna start questioning yourself eventually. Like, well, that one night I was drunk. That one night I was kind of drunk and high. Now you think about other times when you was kind of drunk and high. But you kind of still know you didn't do it. You kind of think you didn't do it. But now you kind of questioning yourself. Well, that one night I was kind of drunk. I don't remember how I got home. Maybe it was that night. Now you questioning yourself. You see, that's what a lie does. That's why a lie is so bad. Because now you questioning your own self. Was it this? Was it that? No, bro. It is not who you are. It's not what you did in the context that they say you did it. In the definition that they say you did it. It wasn't as they said you did it. That's all that matters. See, when you go to the courtroom, you got to prove things. Not only prove things, you got to prove things in the definition and context of what you are defining this person as. So if you define a person as a pedophile, you got to prove that in the definition of a pedophile. No, hold up. Did you hear what I said? You got to prove it in the definition, which means the information has to define the definition of the pedophile, which means This person had to be an adult with a child to be a pedophile. Oh, that's the only definition. The definition is a grown man or woman with a child. Show me when that happened in my life. No, you don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to choose to use that definition or that title and it don't got the definition. You ain't got the definition. No, sucker. You got to prove the real definition of a pedophile. You know what that definition is? You see why you're in trouble, right? The definition is a grown man with a child. When did that happen? When did that ever happen in my life? I know what I've done in my life. That's why I know I got you. When did you ever see me with a child as a grown man? Huh? Oh, so you can just use a definition that it ain't more than one definition. You can just use a definition and put it on a person, but you ain't got to prove that definition and that this person is defined as that definition. Oh, that's how y'all doing it these days? Listen, that's why you messed up these days. That's why you in shambles these days. You can't come out here defining people as pedophiles, but they ain't never been with a child in their adult life ever. Now you see what I'm saying. You see, that's how we know you're not that smart. You would have knew, first of all, you got to define this person as that. He has to be in that exact definition. Not had what it looked like, what it kind of know. You like a dude from the 80s. What it look like? What it look like? Remember they used to be slang. What it look like? Hey, my man, what it look like? That's you. What it look like? You read people's minds talking about what it look like. Hey, these mind readers talking about what it look like. Bruh, we don't care what it looks like. We don't care what it looks like. You got to prove things. You got to prove. See, this is who's professional, who's not. You think you're professional, you're not. You got to prove things in its proper definition in context. And ain't nobody I know will want to be judged any other way. Well, if it's halfway right, you going to let them go ahead and put it on there? If it kind of seems like it is, you going to let somebody judge your family. What if it was your family? You going to let somebody judge your family and say, well, it kind of look kind of halfway like it is. Go ahead and lock them up. Ain't nobody going to do that, bro. You going to ask your family, you going to ask for charges. That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to ask for charges. Oh, where the charges at? That's what you're going to ask. You're going to be standing on the news talking about that they ain't got no charges. Hey, you and your auntie and your family going to be on the news talking about at 6 o'clock talking about that. You're going to be on the news at 6 o'clock talking about they ain't got no charges. 6 o'clock? Yeah, here we go. They ain't got no charges. They arrested my nephew and they ain't got no charges. That's exactly what you're going to be hollering. So listen, you ain't insulting nobody intelligence as long as you listen. I know exactly how. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what hood you come from, say neighborhood you come from. If you're in America, you're going to demand charges for your family. You ain't going to let nobody come out here and play with your family talking about what we think it is. And then don't let it be psychological stuff. That's just going to make you mad. Oh, what's in his mind? We don't care what's in his mind. We talking about what he did and didn't do. And then you couldn't prove it the way you talking about it. Nope. And that's what we talking about. Ultimately, you don't have no charges, man. And guess what? Guess what anybody with their family gonna do if they can do it? They gonna go to war. That's what they gonna do. Oh yeah, you gonna go to war, buddy. If they playing with your family and they ain't got no charges and they keep playing, what you gonna do? You gonna stay in the same position? No, you're not. You gonna go to war. That's 7 out. You gonna go to war, buddy. That's all I did. You thought I just stayed in the same position where I'm subject to your rinky-dink opinion while y'all marrying children? Nope. You know what I did? I went to war about it, bruh. I went to war about it. That's what I'm supposed to do. And you sitting around looking goofy like you don't live in the real world. See, that's how we know something ain't right with you. Well, what you thought was going to happen? See, the old school would call you touched. They'll say you touched. Oh, he touched. She touched. Like you a little off. Well, I'm starting to think that because you show too many signs of not acknowledging reality. Reality is reality, bro. You show too many signs of not acknowledging reality, man, for me to take you seriously intellectually. I don't feel you competent. I feel like your mental hygiene is not that good. Your mental hygiene ain't that good, bro. Well, how you gonna be out here and not acknowledge reality? They marrying children in your country. If you can't let that sink in, if that can't get in your head, if that can't get in your mind, I do not acknowledge you, bro, as my equal. Something's wrong with you. You off. And I don't care why you're off. I'm just listen, all I care about is that you're off. Because once I beat you like that, and then you turn around and make it a game. See, once I won, and they had egg on their face, when you realize you're marrying children, like, oh, right? If you come back and play a game, we do not acknowledge you after that. That's what happened to you. Because the truth is, that was the checkmate, and because in more than one way, I won showing you who your country is, but then also showing you who you are. But I also showed you you're not as serious about these children as you project yourself to be. No, you're not. Well, if you was as serious as you project yourself to be about children, then you would have already knew this information. And then if you didn't, when you heard this information, you would have fell all the way back. You wouldn't have felt the need to know who I am at all after that. That's what I expect of a real black person. Nope. You wouldn't want to, after that, oh, I don't care about what this dude did no more. No, what? They marrying children? Nah, That's the reasoning of real black people. So I don't even acknowledge them as even real competent black people. No. Man, bro, I know how black people think. If you are marrying children as Americans, ain't no black person I know finna come out here unless they touched, unless they slow, or they bugged out mentally. They got bad mental hygiene. That's it. That's all. That's why you can't pull no normal people around me. No, you're not, because they're going to reason like a normal person. If they marrying children and you don't reason like a normal person, listen, bro, that tells you where your mental hygiene is at. Your mental hygiene ain't good. That's all, and I don't care nothing about that. I keep weapons for it. You know what I'm saying? If you got bad mental hygiene, you act like you want smoke, I keep weapons. That's the next solution. The next solution, when you act like you don't understand these things, I got weapons. And that's that simple. See, I got it all covered, don't I? I got it all covered, don't I? I got it all covered, don't I? Yeah, man. You can't come out here playing in the field. And you talking about you masters. You play checkers. I play chess. You play checkers. You play Uno. I play spades. Okay? You play Uno. That's a reverse card. That's a wild card. That's a wild card. That's a wild card. Well, that wild card can't do nothing over here, buddy. You come into spades with a wild card and a reverse card. Well, that's a reverse card. That's a reverse card there. It's just as good as a spade. That wild card is just as good as a spade. Hey, listen, man. You over here with reverse and wild cards, ain't you? You over here playing Uno, man, with wild cards and reverse cards, bruh. You trying to reverse back into my past, ain't you? That's 7 out. You trying to reverse back into my past. It didn't work, did it? You try to use a reverse Uno card with my past, didn't you? Well, we're going to reverse back into when he was a child. Spades shut that down, didn't it? The ace of spade when you marrying children, buddy. That's the... See how that looks? You trying to use an Uno reverse card, and I got an ace of spade for you marrying children in America. You over here playing Uno, bruh. You got a reverse card? You got a wild card? What other cards you got? Let's see what other cards you got over there. Even though we know it's pathetic, let's see what you got going. You over there with a handful of Uno cards, bruh. Well, I thought we was playing Uno. Well, I thought we was playing Uno. Or Dos. I thought we was playing Dos. I thought we was playing Dos. Uno as in Uno Dos, like two. I thought we was playing Dos. I thought we was playing Dos. Hey man, listen. We're not playing Dos. We're playing spades. And I got all the spades. I got ace of king, queen, king, jack, 10, 9, 8, 7. I go on down to 7. And I got the big joker if you play with the jokers. Hey, you know who black if you play with the jokers. Listen, I got the jokers too. That's why I'm making so much fun. I'm the joker. Listen, you thought I was a clown, but guess what? I'm the joker in spades. That's now you're getting it, don't you? I'm the big joker in spades. Now you see the context. You over here with Uno cards, bro, ain't you? Playing with the joker, the big joker. But you the joker, ain't you? Yo, joker. Yo, joker. I had a teacher say jocker. Yo, jocker. I had a friend who used to exaggerate how he used to talk because he was from Florida, right? we in North Carolina, but he was from Florida, so he had a stronger had this Florida accent. He said, "Y'all jockers, y'all jockers, y'all jockers." I had a friend who could say it just right, man. It was so funny, man. He said, "Y'all jockers, y'all jockers." Man, we used to be some bad kids in school, man. I can show you a couple teachers we used to get hell, bro. I had this one teacher named Miss Ham, like Ham, right? Man, I listen, you can't make this up. She had a lisp as an English teacher, bro. No, I'm serious, bro. Hold up. This was a white woman that was an English teacher that had a lisp. Like, class, we're going to do this, blah, blah. That's how she talked. Could you imagine teaching English and you got a lisp? Class, we're going to do this and, this is exactly how she used to talk, bro. They should have had her somewhere else in science or something. Well, she ain't have to talk that much. In science, you ain't got to talk that much. Got all them projects and everything. Listen. They put her in English, man, when she had to break down every word, man. We was just dying, man. It was horrible. They shouldn't have set her up like that. I promise you that's what subject she taught was English. Like one of them people like, yeah, we're gonna try this. We want her to put her best foot forward. She's gonna get past all her challenges. She's gonna get past all her challenges. She's gonna be an English teacher, even though she got a lisp. I'm telling you, that's how I was, man. Like one of them type of people. Where she gonna challenge her limitations by being an English teacher, and she got a lisp. Yeah, class, come on, I'm an English teacher. You see, I'm doing it, you can do it too. You can do it too, I'm an English teacher. Here's homework, you can do it too. Here's homework, you can do it too. Man, it was horrible, man. It was hard, but they should have knew, man. Like, kids are cruel. You can't put no children in a class with a woman with a list, but she an English teacher now. This woman got to explain all type of terms and words and English itself. Oh no. It was horrible, man. It was, man, listen, man. It was like a movie, bro. It was like a movie. She would run out the class and it was bad, man. But they shouldn't have put her in no class like that if she knows she can't speak English. Man, listen, that's like something you see in a movie. How you gonna put a person that got a list and can barely talk, how you gonna put them in an English class with kids? Now, kids ain't gonna reason like a man, they gonna notice that. And then we in English class too on top of that. It was horrible, man. It was very horrible. It was horrible. It was real bad. She was running out the class. That's how bad it was. It was horrible, man. It was horrible. The whole class was against her, man. It was like an uproar like that. It was horrible, man. It was. I don't even think it was just because of the kids. It was. How could you do that? That's what it was. How could you do that? You set her up, man. You set her up. She was an English teacher. She definitely was. She definitely was. An English teacher. And I know she had this one word, onomatopoeia, right? Like, you got to look it up. It's been a long time since I looked that up. But we was chanting onomatopoeia. Because the way she said it with a lisp, onomatopoeia. She could not talk, bro. That's how I know it was English. Because of that. Man, it was crazy, man. That's, but a lot of people set themselves up for failure, bro. Why y'all put these people in this situation and you know they ain't know nothing about the marrying children in America? You know they ain't know nothing about this country marrying children. Ask these black women. Most of these black women got molested when they was kids. Ask the average black woman if she was sexualized as a child. I guarantee you she's going to say yes. How you think I know that? Because I've dated many black women, and most of them have complained about the same thing. So then how would you feel if a whole tribe of people that got child molesters in their family come challenging you on sexuality, and in each family tree of African Americans and black people, they got a pedophile in each family tree? How I know that for sure? Because I've dated many black women and they complain about they have pillow talk and talk about the same thing. Somebody did something to them in their family. So how would you feel from the same people talking about something about you? And I know your deepest secrets. This is why you don't turn your back on people who know you the best. I know these black folks out here, in each family tree, they got at least one pedophile. And the further you go back in time, it's worse, not better. Oh, you would think with the old school, they wouldn't have that. No, it's worse. All these women complain about the same thing, being sexualized and molested when they was children. So what would that tell you? A lot of black people sexualize their children. Yeah. And white folks, how could they know? That's what I'm saying. That's why I told y'all. White people should have never been over here. They should have never been over here in our business, because we know what's really going on. Like Tupac said, you and I know what's going on. Right? You and I know what's going on. All these black women getting molested. How you gonna come out here talking about some a pedophile? You got them in every family tree almost. 70%, and I'm being generous, 70% of the family trees in black community in America, it's a pedophile in each one. That's 70%. I'm being generous. It's really probably more. But I stop at 70% to be. I even say 60. How about 60? I say 60. Just to be accurate. That's how good I am. Just to be accurate. Just for the sake of being accurate. About 60%, right? Right. About 60% of these women have been, listen, You got a pedophile in every family tree, 60% of the family trees of black people. Now, how white people gonna know that? When they don't date no black women. I've dated black women, right? We settle in and have pillow talk and they tell me the same thing. I don't even ask them. We ain't on no conversations like this. I don't even ask them, right? I don't even ask them. They tell me without me asking them. Oh yeah, I got molested when I was a child. Something happened to me. I had sex with my cousin. That one too. Oh, I had sex with my cousin. I had sex with my cousin. Oh, but guess what? On this part, oh, I wasn't molested. The last woman I was with, she told me she did everything with her cousin. And guess what? She didn't talk about it. This is a black woman. This is an African woman, a woman of African descent. She told me, I didn't really. She said they did everything, and it wasn't even like this. It was child molestation. No, they were two cousins. How could it be? So, what would you think if you was me? If you keep hearing these women talk about being molested from black community, African community, what would you think if you was me? You know what you would think. That black people ain't got no business talking about no child molesters or sex with families. You have sex with each other in your own family. And guess what? Some of those sex acts you enjoyed. You enjoyed some of the sex acts, didn't you? Oh, yeah, see, it's some black people that's only going to tell you about the ones they didn't enjoy. Oh, the person they want to demonize in the family. But you ain't going to tell us about your favorite cousin. Oh, your favorite tall cousin. Y'all sitting around listening to R. Kelly. Y'all sitting around listening to R. Kelly. Hey, y'all sitting around listening to R. Kelly, ain't you? Hey, that's what y'all was doing. You and your tall cousin. Hey, these females, you and your tall cousin sitting around listening to R. Kelly. Yeah. I'm talking about the 90s. I'm just putting it in my time frame. Man, come on, man. I'm gonna tell you how I know that's true. It's because when kids, unfortunately, come into sexuality, who you think the first people they gonna act out with that's the closest to them? Family. Family gonna be right there. You can't leave the house. You can't go get a room. You can't get a room. So then you just not gonna do nothing till you leave the house. So who you gonna be acting out with most likely? The average family. The average family, right? Who you gonna be acting out with? You're gonna be acting out with those close to you. That's common sense. Some people don't use common sense. Okay, if you a child, you gonna wait till you're 18 to act out sexually. Or next question. You gonna wait to act out sexually when you leave your mom's house? No, you're not. Not in our culture. Not in our culture. You're gonna act out with your community, with your family. You're gonna act out with your family. Most of them, that's what they're gonna do. And how can you label that as pedophilia? And see, that's where we at. Some people don't know what they talking about. That's the punchline. You don't know what you're talking about. Kids are acting out sexually, and then years go by, you talking about this pedophilia. Cause you're retarded, bruh. You shouldn't have been out here. You're not as competent as I am. You're really not. You're not as competent as I am. You come out here talking about pedophilia, but you don't consider how many people, even yourself, all the stuff you did when you was a kid. Oh, I know you did something. You know how I know? Because you grew up in the same culture I grew up in. You grew up in the same culture I grew up in. You telling me you ain't do nothing. You did. You did. The average person did. If you didn't, you're not the average person, are you? You're not. You know what the average person is? The person that acted out sexually with their own family. See, this is the mature conversation of sexuality that many men can't even have in our country. They can't even have it without grinning sheepishly. They can't even have without blushing. They can't even have a straight-faced conversation. That's what the problem is. If a man can't have the conversation, a woman ain't gonna have the conversation. That's usually how it is. The man is the backbone of society. If we ain't talking about these conversations of acting out sexually when we was children with our cousins, Listen, we live in a lie. That's what happens. And we begin to form fake value systems, unrealistic value systems, where if we catch somebody with the same story that I just said, right, then we label them as pedophiles, not considering ourselves, because we ain't never have the backbone to articulate our own sexuality when we was children. We never had a backbone to talk about our own sexuality as a child. So then we actually literally form whole different realities and value systems that by the time somebody is real about this stuff, we label them differently than ourselves. Not considering ourselves. You ain't consider yourself, did you? Oh, I'm pretty sure you did something. You know how I know? Because I know the culture you grew up in. All this music gyrating, percolating all around. All these movies and music. Oh, you did something. Because kids wanted to be fast and be cool. Oh, you did something. Right. You did something, buddy. Okay, so then you got to have the right definitions. You got to know what you're talking about. If you talk about kids experimenting, that's not pedophilia. So people don't learn the full glossary of sexuality. You don't learn the full glossary of it. That's why I'm gonna do a whole message on the real glossary of sexuality. It's not just pedophile. You got kissing cousins. You ever heard that term? Kissing cousins. Okay, that's not pedophilia. So I'm gonna keep coming back on this. I'm gonna keep coming back on it.